Side, please. Emergency official business. Ma'am, side, please. Side, please. Thank you. Official business, sir. Ma'am, emergency. Please step aside, sir.
Hey, get lost. I'm waiting here, huh?
FBI, you might want to stay out of this, all right, sir? Excuse me, sir. Ma'am, please, back off. All right, I need 8 double tall.
So you have to wonder, is this what they call me?
They call him the Wizard.
To be quite honest with you, I think that's what they call Deborah Chow, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau. Because you have to wonder, is it possible that with both episodes of the Obi-Wan series last night, that they absolutely just hit it out of the park, as is everything that Star Wars is doing right now, Lucasfilm, Disney. We're in the middle of Star Wars Celebration. We're in the middle of the most epic time for Star Wars as a franchise, a pivotal turning point, getting back Ewan McGregor back into the fray, Hayden Christensen. Wow. Jimmy Smits. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, man, oh man, oh man. And how about Hot Toys? And not even the Dark Jedi can calculate all the craziness from May 1st all the way up to May 27th. It is absolutely unbelievable. And as you just saw, starting this up, Sandra Bullock cutting in front of the line. You don't have to cut in front of the line here at 6 Scale Cantina. I'm able to serve it all up for you, baby. We've got the wizard juice right now. Fabio from Fabio Land is late, like usual. However, maybe this is what they call him because he's fashionably late today.
They call him the Wizard.
So maybe we're going to get Fabio as the Hot Toys Wizard with his lit cigar. You do have to wonder. At any rate, let's go ahead and dive into this amazing historic episode right now. And welcome to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. And in case you don't know who I am the Dark Jedi Aries Tarrington. And along with Fabio from FabsFigures, I'll be serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk along with Fabio and along with all of you. Listen, Fabio, you're way too late. I just had to start. I had to play the intro. I was telling everybody, maybe you're actually not Fabio. You're the Hot Toys Wizard. That's what's going on.
I was sending you some stuff on your phone. That's why.
Well, I thought that would have been the Hot Toys Wizard. So maybe, oh wow, what do we got here? Goodness gracious.
Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Wait till you
Well,
look at it.
I don't even know. Like, this has been the most craziest time for Star Wars Hot Toys that I've ever seen. But believe it or not, I really want to start off. Were you able to see Obi-Wan #1 at all?
Absolutely.
All right, that's where I want to kind of start.
Twice
Yeah,
already.
I know. I mean, it's like freaking unbelievable. You sent me some stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and look at it right now. But dude, Jimmy Smits. I was like, man, it was so good to see these guys again. Ewan McGregor, Jimmy Smits, Leia. First episode. What'd you think, baby?
Let me tell you something. I said this about Book of Boba Fett. When the show was announced and that it was coming on and it was, here, I did not expect anything. I did not hype myself up for anything. I was just let the show be whatever it's going to be. And it was what it was. Let me tell you something. The first few minutes of Obi-Wan, right off the bat, I was like, and I told you this, I was like, this feels like a movie. Right away, I was like, this feels like a freaking movie. It was intense. It was dramatic. The show, let me tell you something. The show is going to be incredible. Just know that.
Yeah, I was completely blown away, dude. I was just like, to see last night, and welcome everybody in here. We'll say hi. We're just kind of opening it up with the Obi-Wan show. It's so much. Also, we got to talk about that Andor trailer a little bit, but the Obi-Wan show, man, and what a treat, because I didn't think we'd get the second episode until tonight. I got to watch 2 hours last night, and I was just so like happy. I had a smile on my face the whole time. I was so damn tired. I was so darn exhausted, and there was no way I was having coffee at that time of night with all the coffee that I had and already spilled. Look, I had no more room in the laundry to kind of wash all this stuff with all the coffee that I spilled. But holy crap, what a job Deborah Chow did. You see the little thing in there, thanks to Dave Filoni, if you watched all the credits and paid attention to what's going on. I was telling you all along that they're working with Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni on coordinating all of this. I can't wait to dive into this a little bit. It's absolutely crazy. We had to go live this afternoon during this historic time for Star Wars. And welcome to the Market Chart Show here with Aries and Fabio. And go ahead and hit the like button right now. And let's go ahead and say hi to all you and see what's going on the start of this Memorial Day weekend. Let us go ahead and see who the heck is in here. Let me know what table you're at, and I will fill you up. As someone says here, Braden, welcome in here, Braden. Does anyone have a friend at Celebration who's at the Sideshow booth? Need to know if any new figures are at Celebration Day 2. Well, you know what's interesting right here? Definitely because Star Wars decided to pull, to put the Obi-Wan show for two shows between 12 and 2 last night. It's probably coordinated. Some stuff tonight, some stuff this weekend. It's going to be really crazy because we've got so many more days of this. We didn't even get to the 3:30 show from Star Wars themselves, which they're going to have that today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And of course, Sideshow, their show tonight, 8 o'clock, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Sunday, 8 o'clock. A whole lot more to come, but welcome in here. Let me know what table you're all at. AJ, what is going on? It was so good. I know. Welcome in here. We'll fill you all up. We've got Bob Dylan in the house. What is going on, Bob? Good to have you in here. Dude, let's go ahead and talk about Fabio. One of the things that caught my eye was the way that they began this show. And I don't know what any of you else thought in the chat, but right there with the flashbacks, or not the flashbacks, but the kind of like a recap of the trilogy, of the prequel trilogy, and then going into a segment where the 501st are storming the Jedi Temple. And where did we see that before? We saw it in the book of Boba Fett. We got a much larger glimpse of it. And you have to wonder, is it possible that throughout this series, just like we saw at the very beginning, that we're going to see other aspects of that? And the Dark Jedi says yes. But I was blown away by that part, Fabio. I was kind of really blown away. It was pretty cool.
The whole show, man, the entire, and I told you what happened yesterday specifically, but again, I go into the show not expecting anything. Just the way it started alone, the whole, literally like from episode 1 all the way up to episode. I thought that was the coolest thing. I love how much background they're giving you. So I'm very excited for the show. I'm very excited for what's coming. The storyline so far is great. So, my favorite character right now is the third sister. She is one badass, hardcore Inquisitor, and she is, I have a feeling of what's going to happen in the future, seeing the beginning, but the show is unbelievable.
Yeah, hold that thought. Bob Dylan's in the house as well. Welcome in here, Bob. Let me know what table you're at. The single songwriter, Little Leia, was awesome. We're going to talk about that. Look who's in here, the big dog pound. Let me just go ahead and say this. Woo!
My turn. Woo!
Braden, which woo's better, mine or Fabio's? Probably Julio Iglesias blows us both away. Aries, your favorite Bale is back, baby. Oh, we're going to talk about that, Braden. Welcome in here. Let's go ahead and fill you up for sure. Lane Kramer, Aries and the Fabs. Yes. Aries and the Fabs. Let's go ahead and fill up Lane, who's probably sitting at table 66, because like so many of you others, you don't know any better. But when you have the wizard juice, you can handle the Emperor.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
The Hot Toys Wizards design, Howard Chan's design, filling up table 66. Goodness gracious. And there is the Huntress doing the woo with the big dog pound. So we all know
Woo!
Let's go ahead. Here's what the Emperor says about Fabio's woo while we fill up table 66 for the Huntress. Friend of TK FOMO and CT Suck It. Let's go. CT 603. Fabio Meyer is in the house. Table 88. Let's go. Let's go ahead and fill up table 88. We all know who's there. Goodness gracious, man. The beginning of that thing. Marco Polo, what is going on? OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. And let's go ahead and fill up the OG fan with this.
They call him the Wizard.
How about the Wizard last night as I'm bringing these people up? Welcome in here, Ruben Guerrero. What's going on as well? I think the Hot Toys Wizard was on Big Bretta's show last night, dude.
Yeah, good appearance by the Wizard. It was fun. I think Julio was a little confused the whole time. But it was good. It was good.
I don't think he knew how to handle the Wizard
I
there.
had no idea what was happening. He was like, Aries, and the Wizard was like, I don't know who you're talking to.
Who the hell,
Julio was like,
stop calling me Aries. Aries is the guy who bugs me all the time, but it's information.
It's so funny. He didn't know what to do. Oh, man.
Welcome in here, Cypher 9. Good to have you in here as well. And Six Scale Separatist is in here. What is up? Valiant Archer, good to have you in here. AZ Figs, what is going on, my friend? Darren, good to have you in here as well. Thick Bantha Boy, your boy, Thick Bantha Boy is in the house. Darren is in here. What is going on? The Fabulous Disaster, what is going on? Sean Beam is in here. The Thor, which means we got to go ahead and fill up table 11, baby.
This drink, I like it. I know, it's great, right?
Another.
I think we're gonna get another freaking hot toy or two or three. Welcome, Nestor Isaac. What is going on? Come on, baby. Good to have Nestor in here. Good to have every single one of you in here. Chili Cheese Baron. What is going on? And welcome to you. Glad to have Chili Cheese Baron in here. Eddie Rodriguez as well. What is going on? Six Scale Central. What is up to you, my friend? Good to have you in here with Aries and Fabio in the house. And dude, man, the Thor says he loves it. And Brandon Altman is in here. Come on. All right, so listen, my God. I like the third sister as well. She's one of my favorite characters, and man, what a absolutely fabulous job just with the first two shows in establishing her. You know who my favorite is, and I'm very, very surprised. And I kind of agree with Single Songwriter on this. They're going with the young Leia, and I am surprised how much focus it is on Princess Leia. But holy moly, dude. What a great job by Deborah Chow with this. It is fascinating.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was talking to Julio about it, and he was like, I didn't really like, there was too much Leia. I said, there's a reason why there's so much Leia. It's very important for the show, and you're going to find out soon enough. So I don't think he understood why there was so much. I knew right away. I was like, there's no reason why they're going to put this little girl as such a big part of the first two episodes, no less, just letting you know she's going to be a big deal for what's coming. So
yeah,
amazing. And she did a great job, with the acting. She came off, obviously, we know it's fake, but she came off like it was a real, like a real little kid. You know what I mean? That's how natural. No, that's how natural it felt.
It's so natural.
Yeah.
And the thing that we have to remember is that's the future leader of the whole god darn rebellion. That is that is Princess Leia. I mean, that is like, it is just so amazing. And she is one of the big three ever Star Wars characters ever. Luke, Han, Leia, the good guys anyway. Yep. And I'm just so happy. And one of the things, and I'm going to give a big shout out here to Dante, the man of hot collectibles, who is kind of driving home a lot that this is going to be a great mix of the OT and the prequels combined in together. And honestly, it really is, because you're seeing all that recap from the prequels and all those awesome prequel characters. And then you're actually seeing our beloved OT characters as their younger selves. It was like a holy frack moment for me. Both shows. Absolutely good call by Dante, because they're doing it in even a much more clever way than just Obi-Wan between the ages of Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness. This is absolutely masterful. I'm enjoying every freaking minute of this so far. And they got me invested in these characters, in these other characters like the third sister, some of these other characters, because of what they're doing just with that, buddy.
One of my I found the scene to be, funny, but at the same time it shows you where Obi-Wan is mentally. I don't know if you remember when the 501st Trooper was on the ground asking for change, and right, and what do you call it? And you have Obi giving him, the change. And it's funny because, he's supposed to be getting away from them. They're chasing him. And the fact that he's willing to come off like, I'm just a regular person giving this guy money, shows, that he's like, you know what? I'm done with this Force stuff. I'd rather live than expose myself, which is why the guy, I forget the guy's name, who was hung in the beginning.
The Jedi,
The Jedi, it was pretty much, Obi-Wan's fault for not helping. But he's like, you know what? I told you, leave it alone. That's your problem. So it's very, very telling of his character right now.
Yeah, and if you're watching this and you haven't watched the Obi-Wan show, you may want to steer away, because Fabio and I are diving into some of the things that happen, so there will be some spoilers in here, but only from what's already aired. So just a little bit of caution there. but we are talking about it a little bit because Fabio and I are just so excited about this show. But we're also going to talk about all the hot toys. So just FYI with that. Yeah, when he paused for a moment, you know, Obi-Wan, and he saw his beloved clones, you know, the clones that he commanded. And, you know, and he did a double take like, holy crap, look at the aftermath of what is going on. And they did a really good job showing how it was tragic for Obi-Wan and how he was like, oh, I failed because of Anakin, but I'm still have a mission to do with Luke, but it's not time yet. It's not the time to train Luke. But it was a quick turnaround to be able to do the right thing, help out Bail Organa, and start doing what he's doing right here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, with Leia. And let's talk about Bail Organa, baby. Jimmy Smits. You know, that wasn't I knew that rumor was true, that he was absolutely, and I said it from the beginning, there's not a chance in hell that they wouldn't sign him to this show. A wonderful television actor and so pivotal. Bail Organa is pivotal in the tie-in between Yoda, wherever he is at this moment, and Obi-Wan, where he is. You see, he was able to communicate with Obi-Wan. And you have to wonder, is it possible that he could also communicate with Yoda? And I say yes. So there was not a chance, Fabio, that Jimmy Smits wasn't going to be in this. He was too important in Revenge of the Sith to tie this in together.
Absolutely. And as soon as he came up on the screen, I was like, right away, Ares. I was like, oh my God. I was like, he called it right away. That's my first thought. I was like, he's been talking about this character forever. Finally here, the figure's coming 100% at some point. The only difference is obviously the picture you always show up is him being younger. You could see that he's aged a lot.
Yep.
Look, his face looks completely different now. Still cool, but yeah, I was very surprised that, you know, that you've been calling this for a long time.
Well, and the other thing that I suggested as well with this show, and if you notice the scene when young Leia was talking with her father, and it was a very emotional and cool scene where he kind of calmed her down over the, directive of the mother, and you got to do this, you got to apologize. And she's like, okay. Immediately I thought about what we were talking about. Can you see Tupac? She looks like she's way too important in this series to actually not come out with a small like Quill or Jawa type of figure, like Yoda type of size, but you don't really want that alone.
Right.
And you put that with Bail that maybe helps the sale with a Bail father and daughter pack. Can you see this, buddy?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say. I said, if they're going to put her, because literally word for word what you just said, they're not going to want to give us a half a scale, even though it'll be a 1/6 scale figure, nobody's going to want to pay $200 and something for a little thing like this on its own, even though we've paid for Yoda, we've paid for R2, I understand that. And there are characters that are worth that money, like Yoda and R2. But a young Princess Leia, there's really no attachment to the actual, actress of the who's doing the what do you call it? Who's playing the character.
Right.
So I feel like that's what would affect them not releasing her on their own. But exactly what you said, a Bail Organa Princess Leia 2-pack, absolutely. It'll be a Leia Wicket, same exact thing.
Yep.
So absolutely.
Yeah, can you imagine the amount of messages? Because I've been getting blown away if they do Bail Organa and that. I may have to just turn my phone off.
No, it makes so much sense. And I feel like that's the only, it could either go a 2-pack of, Luke and Leia.
Mm-hmm.
It could go that way as well, because now you're getting 2 figures same size. That's more doable. But yeah, I feel like it would make more sense. Absolutely. The twins together would make even more sense. But I feel like, because again, the Wicked Leia 2-pack, I feel like, Bail and her would make more sense as well.
No, absolutely. And look, we got 70 in here. You are watching the market chart show with Aries and Fabio live. And with 70 in here, is it possible that you right now, just hit the like button? And I say Yes. Thank you so much for smashing that like button. Yeah, the Bail Organa figure is coming, and I think it's going to come with that small Leia figure. And they already set up a couple of scenes where it's absolutely apropos for that for sure. And you know what's real interesting about that is, I mean, how many shows, how many appearances does Jimmy Smits have to make in Star Wars before he gets a figure? I know we've talked a lot about Admiral Akbar. We've talked a lot about different characters as well. Boy, this guy's been in the prequels. He's been in Rogue One. He's been in Rebels.
He's coming.
He's been in the Clone Wars. Now he's in this. He's coming now.
He's coming. There's no, and exactly for those reasons, he's been around forever. And not only in just the fact that we know that he's the character involved within that time frame. No, he's been around everywhere as a big part of the storyline for every movie, every Clone War, everything. So it's about time for him to get his own figure. And like I said, it's definitely coming. Hot Toys is not going to miss out on that at all.
Well, let's go ahead and fill up Ruben Guerrero here at table 10 with the droids and the pilots and the passengers with the pilots.
BB-8, hold on!
And Ruben says, do you think Hot Toys will go down the Inquisitor line? So I have some thoughts on some of the things that happened yesterday. Bye-bye, Grand Inquisitor. So I'm not exactly so sure. One thing they're definitely going to do, you're going to get the third sister. As far as the other couple of characters, I am not entirely convinced. But what do you think, Fabio? On the Inquisitor. We're going to get the Grand Inquisitor.
I think so. Yeah. Even though whatever happened yesterday. I think that they'll definitely come. Once they make the molds for the outfits, for the armor, for their suits, they're pretty much very similar. Obviously, they're supposed to be. So I have a feeling, 100% coming. And I have a feeling too that we're gonna get the third sister as an Inquisitor, and at some point, and this is just my own assumption, as a Jedi eventually, and that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I kind of know where you're fishing with that. And here's the thing: remember when the original Star Wars first came out, Ruben? And remember, Hot Toys is moving forward in a direction that is diving deep into Star Wars, and Star Wars is not an IP that you can 100% anyway directly correlate with Marvel. You can't 100% directly correlate and compare with DC. Really, you can't do it with anything else, because the toy function of the collectability of Star Wars, especially with something as crazy and as limited and as special and as unique as Hot Toys, is going to take somewhat of a little bit of a different path. And just like with Kenner back in the day, my gosh, Fabio, you had characters like Ponda Baba, Hammerhead, every freaking little character that you could pull out of A New Hope, which was only 2 hours. And we basically had 2 hours last night just with the first third of this series. You got 2/3 upcoming. So you basically got a trilogy. And they're actually treating it like a movie if you look at the way that they do the intro, if you look at the way they do the outro. So really, even if characters come in and they die very, very quickly, it don't mean a damn thing, especially with this series. I don't know if there's a character you could put out from here, Fabio, that won't sell.
Exactly. The show, the hype for the show, we've been waiting for this show. We've been talking about the show before it was released, before it was, out. And they know that, this show is going to be a big hit. Just from these 2 episodes alone, we know that it's only going to get better and better and better. I don't think we're going to get any slow episodes. I think everything is going to be action packed, and everybody's going to be real deep into it because this is a big deal leading to what's next. You know what I mean? What's coming next, at least. So this is very important, and this is why it's got to be as good as we expected it to be.
Let's go ahead and put this up onto the screen. Say hi to some more people in here. Good point, Fabio. Hey, Harmonica is in here. I am at Celebration, and they showed episode 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan. We sat right next to Tamora Morrison during the premiere, and when it showed his bearded clone trooper on screen, he fist bumped. Yeah, that's crazy.
So episode.
I was wondering if hey, Harmonica, you're actually saying you saw an episode 1 and episode 2 Hot Toy Obi-Wan, but I'm not sure if that's what you meant. But I was like, woo.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Let's go down more here. Doc is in the house. What is going on, Doc? Jimmy was looking rough. Hope he's feeling well. He's just an older. I mean, he's been acting for. I mean, gosh. I mean, he wasn't a spring chicken back when this was 20 years ago with Attack of the Clones. So, obviously. But I thought he looked, I was just so happy to see him in here. It's kind of like with some of these older actors, you see Billy D. Williams, you see some of them that are in the sequels, even Fabio. It's age. It's not the same when they're in their prime, right? You all get a little older.
Yeah, no, and it's very noticeable. That's what I mean. Like, as soon as I saw him on screen, I was like, immediately, I was like, oh my God, he aged. Because I remember, the picture you always put up is him obviously a lot younger. So he looked right away. I was like, wow, he looks different. But again, obviously, it's normal. But I'm so used to seeing constantly that picture you put up that I was like, oh, wow. So I noticed the difference right away because of that. But yeah, no, he doesn't look terrible. He just looks older.
Let's answer Lane over here. Lane's in the house. 6-scale Cantina. So, hey, we saw the 6-scale Vader from Obi-Wan, which looks like Rogue One Vader. Do you think we could get regular deluxe version, like Hayden head sculpt and alternate base and background? So here's the thing, Lane, to answer your question. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Fabio, but I don't think that they went over that figure yet at the Sideshow booth with their show last night. Did they?
So apparently the Darth Vader figure is out already, shown. I didn't watch anything that Sideshow did. I never do. So I don't know if they did anything, but the figure is out. It's definitely from Obi-Wan. And to answer his question, my opinion is I feel like that we're either getting 2 helmets or 2 helmets and a head sculpt. My thing is, we're getting the regular Vader helmet, we're getting a battle damage helmet, and we're getting a Hayden head sculpt of him, all burnt up and stuff. Maybe even light up eyes, something. I think that would be cool. I feel like they haven't shown that because it'll spoil the show, in my opinion. So they're just giving you a regular, just regular Vader, which you can't spoil the show because you know what Vader looks like anyway. And there's not many changes, as you can see. You're saying that it looks like the Rogue One Vader, which it does a lot. So that's why. But I feel like they're not giving us everything right away. So something's coming. And like I said, I think it's 2 helmets, 1 head sculpt.
Yeah, and here's my question. I don't think they even went over anything with this Vader yet. And Single Songwriter Lane just put in 6-scale Cantina. They can't show any Vader accessories because it would spoil the Kenobi show. And here's the thing. I think there's a specific reason why they aired 2 shows, and not just for Hot Toys and maybe other toy companies. So we all know we saw Vader at the end of episode 2 yesterday, and we got to see, Hayden Christensen's face and some of that. So if it's just really a question, I think there's going to be more than one Vader that comes out from this series, to be honest with you. And I'm not just saying quarter scale and 6 scale. I think you're going to get a couple of different variations of this. I think you're going to get battle damaged, which can come as a deluxe with some different things in there. And I think you're going to get a regular Vader. Yep. If they wanted to just give you that Vader that they showed on the screen and just have a head sculpt that was basically the same exact head sculpt that we all saw last night, they can 1,000% do it this weekend. And that's why I'm saying you have to pay attention to the sideshow booth tours tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday night. There was not just one or two. There's a myriad of reasons why they put on both shows. I could tell you right now, the reason for airing the second show was for a lot of that action, a lot of that sets the whole table for where it's going. But make no mistake about it, one of it was to show Darth Vader, and without the helmet on. There's no tease really on Darth Vader what he looks like, Lane, with the helmet. It's basically almost the same helmet. The only one that really looks different from all the other ones, honestly, to the naked eye, is A New Hope, because it's dull and it's slightly all like, it's worn. That's really a battle damage Vader on A New Hope. Otherwise, all the damn Vaders, if you ask me, they're so close nobody even notices. Right. The head sculpt though is, I didn't know that's what Hayden looked like. Well, now you know what Hayden looks like. Yep. If there's a part where he fights Obi-Wan Kenobi, and part of his helmet gets with a lightsaber, and you see half of his eye, like Captain Phasma, in The Last Jedi or something like that. No, you're not going to see any of those accessories now. You're not going to see any of that stuff now. But as far as just a head sculpt like Return of the Jedi, we already seen it. So what's to stop them over the next 72 hours from showing that? Absolutely nothing. But go, Fabio.
Well, no, I was gonna say something that you said as well. Because you was talking about are we getting different stuff, but you specifically mentioned different Vaders. If there is a show where Hot Toys can give us multiple Vaders, is this. There is not going to be any other show where there's a reason to get multiple Vaders. This show is called Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Darth Vader go hand in hand. So, therefore, my opinion, like you said, we're getting multiple Vaders. Exactly what you said. A battle damage would make a lot of sense, and I feel like that's when, if we're not getting anything extra with the clean version of Darth Vader that we saw, we're going to get everything in the battle damage. So we're going to get, battle damage helmet, his head sculpt, but all those things are definitely coming 100%.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point that even it's the Obi-Wan series, and it's not like Obi-Wan is married. It's not like Obi-Wan has a girlfriend right now. Obi-Wan, the main tragedy of Obi-Wan right now is he failed Anakin. And he lost a brother. And you saw right at the end of the second episode, Anakin. That's what the damn show is about.
Correct.
So you're 1,000% correct, Fabio. We're certainly going to get more than one variation of Darth Vader. So my point at the end of the day is don't rule out a generic Darth Vader in a costume with a head sculpt, not with the back of the tank. You can get something different there, something like that. You can get a score to scale with that. Not battle damage, not any accessories. Just Vader walking around with a lightsaber and a head sculpt. You already see the head sculpt that could come very, very quickly. Let's go on some of these comments that are up in here while we continue to talk about Hot Toys and talk about this craziness from last night on this show. And I want to put up a couple of these. Here we go here. Mandalorian Huntress says, the second I saw Bail Organa, I thought of the Hot Toys Wizard. Huntress, did you see the Hot Toys Wizard last night on Big Bretta? Julio Iglesias' show. Joao. Last night, because he was on there the whole time. As a matter of fact, I think the Hot Toys Wizard took over Big Bretta's show. He did the intro.
Literally.
And then it was the intro, and then he said, okay, you guys can have it back. Let's continue to go on over here. CT603 is talking about CT Hobo. And someone put in here a comment that Valiant Archer, a very good comment that was before that, Hot Toys is proud to announce the Destitute veteran clone trooper. LOL. Let's talk about that, Fabio, because you were talking about that earlier. Both you and I were talking about that moment where Obi-Wan paused when he was off Tatooine and saw one of the clones that was in a bad place, a remnant from the past. We already got a bronze A freaking we already getting chrome, clone troopers and stuff that we're not even getting Fox or Bly or Fives or any of these yet. I don't with all the Tamora Morrison head sculpts. Could you? I mean, this would sell like crazy to get a clone trooper like this.
I mean, it would be awesome. I would definitely buy in a heartbeat.
Me too.
But I feel like because he's just such a small character, I mean, if they come out with like a very limited amount exclusive of these, they would sell immediately. But again, are they going to do it? Probably not. I feel like there's bigger, unless that specific trooper has a bigger role down the line and he actually becomes friends with Obi at some point and it could be a bigger thing. So we don't know that yet.
Yeah. And the Thor puts in here how they're holding off from Obi-Wan igniting his lightsaber. It's going to be epic when he finally does. Let's fill up the Thor again at table 11.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another Vader. Yeah, I mean, talk to me about Ewan McGregor in this as we're continuing to talk about Hot Toys and tying this together. Fabio, he was awesome. I mean, I feel like I'm watching episode 4 of the prequels. He was just incredible last night to see Ewan McGregor in live action like this, leading a show. What a great actor. It's like it's Obi-Wan. And how about that scene when he went off Tatooine, and I'm forgetting the name of the planet, but when he rescued Leia, and it's freaking amazing as he's starting. He's like a little rusty in the Force, right? And she's falling off the building there, and he's like, Yeah. And by the time he faces off with Vader, he's going to be pretty. The rust is going to be off.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He looked like he was constipated trying to get the Force. He was like,
he need a little bit of wizard juice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But exactly what you said. By the time he gets to Vader, he's going to be back to 100% Obi-Wan. Full in control of everything. The rust is gone. He's going to be. He's got to be ready for what's coming. And the coolest part was when he finally, the third sister finally told him, "Oh, you didn't know he's still alive." I was like, "That's a sick scene right there," because that's the first time he's hearing that he's still alive. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Elaine Kramer asked, "Do you guys think we could perhaps see Obi-Wan still beat up with an old man Cody?" Well, listen, Lane, I'm going to answer this one first. You already saw him. They already set you up for something special like that with what they showed yesterday. And make no mistake about it that, Deborah Chow, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all these directors do consult with Disney and Lucasfilm marketing on things that they can use to exercise to put out merchandise, not only for Hot Toys, but they got to put out merchandise for Hasbro, for this and for that. So honestly, a lot of times that's also why they change costumes too. It's not just for appeal on screen. It's also for marketing. Hey, you can come out with a different version of this character, a different merchandise for this character. So honestly, at least from Hot Toys perspective, if they come out with any other version of Cody, Fabio, I don't care if it's for 3 seconds. It probably look at the KX Enforcer droid. That was basically on for 3 seconds. Here it is. They do that with Cody, Tamora Morrison. You can put that one in the bank,
and it'll be completely different than the one from the Clone Wars. So
hell yeah,
there's a chance that that's a possibility as well. Absolutely, yeah. Anything. I feel like any time that they can make a mold and reuse that mold over and over and over by just repainting it and adding a head sculpt to the body, I feel like they take advantage of that all the time because it's easy money. You know what I mean? I would think it would be stupid for them to constantly be making new molds for new stuff when they could be doing that and give us, literally a different trooper with the same mold every single time by just repainting it.
And listen, I think, TK FOMO said he has a new friend called Hold My Poe. But right now we've got Hold My Balls. in here. Hold my balls. Do you know hold my po? Um,
Hold my poo.
be the spark that ignites the fire to save Admiral Holdo. Anyway, Aries, what's your rating so far for Kenobi? So on a scale from 1 to 10, just like I rate Hot Toys, the Dark Jedi, Aries Territon, who serves up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk, gives it a score of 20 trillion, baby.
20 trillion sockets out of 10.
20 trillion suckets, 10,000 FOMOs, and only one.
Kenobi. Only one Kenobi.
I mean, as I was saying, hold my balls in the beginning of the show. I was pretty giddy last night, to be honest with you. I mean, I was just like, I was exhausted. I really wanted to go to sleep, but I just couldn't stop. And when I saw it was the second show, I was like, hot diggity, damn. I was just so glued, man.
Let me tell you something. Speaking of that, so I told you yesterday I was watching my wife, and she's never been into any of that. No Star Wars. She knows absolutely nothing. We're watching it yesterday, and she was on her chair, tense the entire time, and she's like, "This is so good." She's like, "Oh my god, this is so good." She's like, "This is what you guys talk about?" I'm like, "Yeah, all the time." So that's what happened yesterday.
That's so cool.
It was very good. It was
and how much did she enjoy it? Like,
she loved it. She's like, "This is really good." She was into the whole time. Like, I had to get up to do stuff, and she was sitting there staring at the screen the entire time. Yeah, no, it's very addicting. You know what I mean? Like, once you
that's a good word.
And the way it started, like I said earlier, the way it started was the best part, because giving you literally from every single episode from 1 to 3, the entire buildup, even if you've never seen the movies, that's all you needed to know. You know what I mean? They gave you exactly everything that you needed to know to be caught up with. Obviously, yeah, you're not going to know the details of everything, fine. But you get the big picture of the whole story of where they're at that point, which is the best thing they could have done for any fan, real fan or somebody that just, casually started watching the show.
Yeah, I'm putting this up from Bad Boy Productions, and I'll address this first. Only thing throwing me off is the Grand Inquisitor and Rebels canon situation. But listen, Bad Boy Productions, I was warning everybody, and really Star Wars and George Lucas have done this forever. They killed Darth Maul in a movie, which all respect to Rebels, all respect to the Clone Wars. They don't have the same value to the general public as a movie. It's not the same level of canon. I'm just being honest with you. It's not. And if they can bring somebody back from a clear death, cut in half, and falling 8 million stories with no legs, cut in half in the abdomen, they sure as hell can change things from Rebels. And I've been telling you all along, and you need to understand this, that Darth Maul is not dead at the end of Rebels. They will 1,000, hear me carefully, 1,000% have that character be alive again, because it's what George Lucas, not Kathleen Kennedy, it's what George Lucas, not Rian Johnson, it's what George Lucas, not J.J. Abrams, it's what George Lucas has said time after time after time. He wanted Darth Maul in the sequels, and you can bet your arse he's not dead. So you got to get prepared for stuff like this. But Fabio, this kind of stuff's going to happen. Give me your take.
No, absolutely, you're 100% right. And I feel like they did that on purpose, for stuff like this, to be able to always incorporate any character wherever they thought, or at least George Lucas thought that he would fit in best. So that's why when they die, they really don't, because again, his goal was, you know what? I could always put him here. I could put him here. And they always fit perfectly fine wherever he puts them. So, absolutely.
Yeah, and Lane puts in over here, it just feels like Obi-Wan first 2 episodes had time and care put into it, where Book of Boba Fett felt rushed or slow paced and slip sliding away. I don't know if I agree with that, Lane, but I definitely see a very different tempo. The Book of Boba Fett, I was just as fascinated with the Book of Boba Fett, and I actually remember watching the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett when I was searching for Ahsoka at a special place called Hilton Head, somewhere here in the galaxy. And what was real interesting about that, I loved him coming out of the Sarlacc pit. I loved the sequence of that whole sequence of him with the Tusken Raiders. It was just a different vibe. It really was. And then it turned out really to be The Mandalorian, where clearly this is not The Mandalorian. And I'm glad it's not The Mandalorian, because it should have a totally different vibe. Look at the Andor series, the reel we got for that yesterday, the Sizzler, which looks completely fascinating and very deep and very invigorating, very captivating. So I just think generally the way that they had to approach the Obi-Wan series, Lane, it had to kind of take the next step from Revenge of the Sith. So I think it had to be done in the way that they did it. Your thoughts, Fabio?
I'm gonna actually, in my opinion, I'm gonna agree with Lane, and I'm gonna agree because of the fact that it's Boba Fett. He's a side character. Obi-Wan is a main character. So I feel like my goal with Boba Fett was to give, the people mostly, again, I've said this before, mostly the newer fans, a quick backstory on who Boba Fett was, what he's about, and what he's become, which is what everything we got on the show. That's why people are very unhappy with it, because we didn't get as much, as much as we expected from Boba, because this is what we know of Boba. Their goal was never that. Their goal was never, the OG fans. Their goal was to give them enough story and quickly for people to, this is what Boba Fett's about. All right, cool. Now you expect him whenever he appears next. Now at least you know who he is and what he was about and where he came from. That's all they cared about. So now Obi-Wan, main character, you have Darth Vader, the most main character in the world. So they have to put time and care into this, because this is a bigger storyline than Boba Fett was, 100%.
Yeah. And Lane puts up here again. I just say that Aries because of the Divergent episodes with Luke and the Bando episode. I think that series just didn't have a clear story vision. Obi-Wan has a clear story picture from first two episodes. Here's the thing, and I agree. I agree with both of you. But my thing is, I think it did have a clear vision, and I was kind of preaching it before it would start. The clear vision was to promote the Mandalorian and to ultimately promote more of that whole aspect and that line, which they were very, very successful in doing under that view, because the finale episode actually blew away the Mandalorian season 2, which took the world by storm. So I think that my point is, I felt like they were doing it more for marketing the Mandalorian and even pushing Boba Fett in the Mandalorian, because clearly he's going to be in the Mandalorian. Clearly he's going to be part of that crew with Bo-Katan and Fennec and all them. It's going to be like the A-Team. It was very successful also in the ending of the second half of the Mandalorian season 2. So I think that that's what they were ultimately trying to do. Okay, give you a Boba Fett story at the beginning, and then let's just go to Mando, because really they were basically telling that's all we're really freaking interested in with this. Where Obi-Wan's a totally different ballgame. Which
is exactly why they added 2 Mandalorian episodes in the Book of Boba.
Exactly.
For that exact reason, to blend them in with the show. So next time you see him is most likely going to be on the Mandalorian. And that was your goal, to give you, because if their goal was to give you Boba Fett's storyline, period, there should have never been any Mandalorian included in the Book of Boba Fett show.
Yeah.
So therefore, that was their goal all along, and that's why they waited for the middle episodes to get you hooked. They give you a little bit of Mando and then go back to Boba, because that's their goal all along. And that's exactly why I say it was rushed. It was only to give you enough backstory of Boba to be able to fit him in the following shows without you questioning who the hell is this guy.
100%. And with 75 in here, go ahead and smash the like button for The Dark Jedi. You are watching a very special market chart show with Aries and Fabio live here to kick off Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, and also just celebrating day 2 of Star Wars Celebration. We're actually diving deep into the epic, historic first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan series earlier this morning. Of course, all the ramifications from that on what could possibly come for Hot Toys, for Star Wars from Hot Toys over the next few days. We haven't even dived into Attack of the Clones yet. We haven't even dived into, the Bad Batch tease that they put in yet. They've basically have almost every question that people have had out there, except for General Grievous, if Hot Toys is eventually going to do it. And Han Solo, they basically answered, although that question may have been answered as well. Hold My Ball says, can we all agree the little girl playing Leia is killing it? Her acting, mannerisms, and lines are perfectly spot on. So, yeah, Hold My Balls. We'll recap a little bit, but Fabio and I were discussing that the first part of the show, just about 20 minutes ago, maybe we were talking about that, but I don't mind going back to it. Mm-hmm. It's so fascinating. I did not think necessarily that they were going to dive in that way, but I know where this is going. She's such an important character in Star Wars. You talk about the biggest characters in Star Wars: Darth Vader, Luke, Han, Leia, Obi-Wan. Those are your big ones. Obviously, Carrie Fisher is going to lead the whole damn rebellion. How fitting is this? But just bringing it up again there, Fabio. What a wonderful and natural. Nothing forced last night.
That's exactly it. It's very great actress. She's doing a great job. Like I said earlier, it feels like, that's who this person is, this little girl. It feels like that's who she really is. That's how good her acting is. She's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and putting this up onto the screen, we got a super chat from the friend of TK FOMO, CT603. And we thought we found CT Suckett last night, but that was just a man of hot collectibles as an imposter. Impostering as CT Suckett. We're still looking for him. Maybe CT603 knows where CT Suckett is. Why is Hot Toys Instagram flexing Han Solo and the Falcon? Which are they teasing, pilot or ship? Oh, let me tell you something, CT603. We could start talking about this while we're talking about the Obi-Wan show. Everything they have done has been very careful over the last since April 13th. Let me say that again. Everything that Howard and Hot Toys has done has been very careful. Let me fill up table 66 while we talk about this.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
And if it's going to Howard's design, why would they show a Han Solo? Would it be to get Fabio's hopes up so that they can actually put the hopes down? You're never going to get a Han Solo, and then that Howard's going to do this in a few years to you? No, you're never going to get it. No cash and credit. Yeah. My perspective is, dude, CT603, it's very evident what's going to happen with Han. But go ahead, Fabio. Let me get your take.
Yep. I told you guys, vehicles are coming. They're not holding back anymore. There's no reason to hold back anymore. They see what's going on with, companies specifically like Jazz Inc., making their vehicles, people, diving for those vehicles, the dioramas as well. So they're saying, if we could do it, we've teased it. Why not put the work in and get them done? They know we're going to buy anyway. So all they're doing is trying to figure out how to get them done, I guess, figuring out cost, figuring out if it's worth it, figuring out all that stuff. But I'm telling you, there's nothing that we haven't seen. There's nothing that we have seen that's not coming anymore. Everything is up for sale.
I've been warning everybody to look for more Han Solos, and even though they're going to probably reissue the Han Solo and the Chewbacca 2-pack, and both of them perhaps by themselves, or maybe actually just with the 2-pack, depending on how they want to be with this. But if they're teasing that, definitely what Thick Bantha Boy is saying, we're definitely getting both a 1/6 scale Falcon and all the figures inside. And, it's a very interesting thing, when I go ahead and pull up 6scalecantina.com. And if you go to the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com, this is, by the way, the market chart show. And you look at the highest selling figure in the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. I'll pull this up right now with Fabio. And you could look right up here above Fabio and myself. Number one, and I'll highlight it with the cursor. Han and Chewbacca, including which is the Han that they teased last night, in front of that cockpit, $1,002, Fabio, and steady. There's really not a chance in hell. And from my perspective, with all the data that I collect, when you add that into the trends, Fabio, that have been happening in May, they're not going to allow something this coveted for them not to capitalize on it to get some money at this point now.
They've been doing it for years. It's coming again. There's no way that they're letting this slide. They know that people want Han. They know that a lot of people missed out on Han. They know, there's been many, thousands of new collectors since the original Han and Chewie were announced. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, and for those of you watching in here, if you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, you may want to consider doing so. And this is something, since I've started this channel, and 6scalecantina.com before I started the channel, if you ever heard, my story on why I started this channel. But, if you want to actually, get some inside analysis, because I've talked about this for months and months and well over a year, you may want to consider becoming a Cantina Insider, which is that little, pink bar on the right-hand side I'm flashing on the screen. Not only do you get live shows, like if you were a member, you would have got my live show with Fabio yesterday afternoon. Fabio and I did this before a Big Bretta show. We did it yesterday afternoon. There was a Cantina Insiders Live. You get all kinds of things like pleather trading tips, climate tips, shows with the wizard, all kinds of in-depth analysis. You can go on to 6scalecantina.com, see some previews of the banner. You can also just click on that join button, see everything that it comes with. If you think you may be interested, go ahead and join. But I've been talking about this, Fabio, for a while. This is nothing new. They're going to go ahead and put out another Han. The question I have for you is, can they have multiple Lukes up like we've been talking about? And they have 3 now. And I think they're going to have 4 or 5 soon. We talked about the multiple Vaders. Let's talk about Han Solo. Han Solo, one of the pivotal characters, one of the big 3 from the original, Han, Luke, and Leia. Harrison Ford, actually, the biggest star from the original trilogy, because he was the biggest actor, and probably still is in all of Star Wars. It's Harrison Ford. I mean, you may as well put him up there with James Cagney, put him up there with Tom Cruise, put him up there in that magnitude. And
did you hear he's coming back for Indiana Jones?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Is it really, with them putting out the A New Hope Han, which it looks like they're going to do? Does that mean we don't get the Bespin Han? No, it means you're probably going to get the Bespin Han as well. It's going to be very, very interesting, Fabio. But give me your thoughts. How many Hans can you ever have pre-order at once? Is it different than Luke? Is it different than Vader?
No, I think it's the same. I think Han, has the same popularity as Luke and Vader to a certain extent. Not 100%, but to a certain extent. And we can have 2, 3 Hans at the same time. As long as they're different, it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? So are they coming out with them? Absolutely. And another thing, don't forget about Chewie as well, because he's another one that has to come. Are they going to do a double pack? I doubt it, but Chewie is coming as well.
Yeah, I mean, they could put these in a single pack. Honestly, if they put them in the single pack, I almost think you skip the 2-pack. The only other thing I could see is if they want to just offer this, like, hey, if you want either one of these characters, you got to get the 2-pack, which they could do. They could. Yeah, honestly, you have to wonder. I mean, would they make even more money just putting it in one pack individually? Because, I mean, Chewbacca's so damn high as well in the secondary market.
Right, but I feel like they're not going to give us another double pack because it's going to look like it's just repeating what they've done before, even though obviously it would be different packaging. It would be updated packaging. It would be, obviously different accessories, not completely different because you have to have the same base stuff that they come with, but hopefully something different than they gave us the first time. But again, double pack, to do a double pack with Chewie and him again, I doubt it. I don't think so. I mean, unless they have like some type of special edition, that they give you special, like they did with the original 2-pack. They give you the headset and the I think it's the what the hell was it, a bandolier? I think that's what they gave you. So I feel like if they come up with a different idea for that, like for special edition accessories, maybe a double pack. But as of right now, I don't think so.
You know what's interesting? Going back to the Obi-Wan series, you're watching the market chart show with Aries and Fabio, and you're watching it live here to kick off Memorial Day weekend, the second day of Star Wars Celebration. And you have to wonder, is it possible that there's going to be more Star Wars Hot Toys news over the next 72 hours? And more epic Star Wars news from Disney over the next 72 hours? And I say yes. Hit the like button while you're watching Aries and Fabio. Aries, I want to go. I mean, I called you Aries. I want to get back to the very beginning of the Obi-Wan series, the first show. The recap from the prequel trilogy was absolutely unbelievable. How about that extra footage? It was the second time we ever saw extra footage from back during Order 66. The first one we saw was in the Book of Boba for a very clear and present reason. And now we saw a continuation of that with those clones storming in to start this off. Do you think before the end of this show, whether it's in a flashback or to start off another episode again, that we're going to see more from that storming the temple before this is over?
If it leads to, that specific situation, showing us more details about some things that were never spoken about in the other movies, absolutely. Because I feel like every time they give you these scenes, there's always something new about them. You know what I mean? And your job is obviously watching all this is supposed to put everything together and make the big picture yourself. If you notice, it's not the same image that they give you from Book of Boba with Grogu. You know what I mean? Because that scene made sense for Book of Boba. Attaching Grogu to that. This scene, it was just showing you how the third sister was involved with the Jedi from a kid, So every time they give you a scene regarding Order 66, it's like a different angle of what was going on within that order. So obviously, like I said, we have to put all the pieces together. So if there's more information that has to come from Order 66, you better believe it's coming.
Yeah, and Thick Bantha Boy said that Order 66 intro was so fire. I got pumped up like Arnold. You certainly did. I certainly did too. let's fill you up, thick bantha boy, at table 5 and 88 with this. And you know, I was looking for him. That's actually one of the corridors that they showed, if you noticed, in the up scene, right when you're seeing it from below, all the different stormtroopers coming in and the different Jedi, and they're coming in. And I was looking, I was like, where's Grogu in one of those corridors? I don't even think that not only do I think we're going to find out more about what happened to Grogu before the end of the series, I think we're going to find out about a couple of other Jedi and a couple of other things as well. It's not just going to be him. It's going to be a few things. I think the key to that is we're already seeing Obi-Wan flashback. We haven't seen Vader flashback yet because he was storming that as well with his lightsaber, slaying some while the clone troopers were shooting some.
Right.
So what happened with some of these? There's certainly, I think, if Anakin is involved in any way, and I brought this up on Big Brenna's show last night, they're not going to let this series end where they don't talk about it. Hayden's in the show. I think we're going to find out more.
No, absolutely. You have to, you know, they have to show us all that stuff. You know, people, I remember when Book of Boba was coming out, people were like worried that we were going to get all flashbacks or a lot of flashbacks. I think the flashbacks on this show specifically are more telling and more
new footage. We
Correct.
never saw that.
Correct. So it's more it's deeper information that we've never seen before. Correct.
Did you hit the like button yet, baby? You are watching a very special episode on this historic time for Star Wars and Star Wars Hot Toys. So I am live with a very special market chart show with Aries and Fabio here on this fine Memorial Day weekend, May 27th here in the afternoon. Let's smash the like button, baby. Let's smash it right now. Whatever you're doing, pause, stop, take your finger, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Six Scale Cantina, because is it possible that the Dark Jedi is going to go live again tomorrow on Memorial Day weekend at 6 p.m. Eastern? And I say yes. And I will have a full panel on, which will include Fabio here from FabsFigures. You don't want to miss that tomorrow for sure. Hit the subscribe button so you get all the alerts on what's new. 4 more episodes left, 4 hours. Do we see this guy, Mr. Fabio?
Yes.
And I say yes. And here's the thing. I said the same thing about Bail Organa, that he is way too pivotal to not be in this series. And I would venture to say that probably even more pivotal than Bail Organa is this guy right here as I fill up table 66 again. Good. This is the guy who screwed up Anakin's mind, Fabio.
No, I was gonna say, and remember that after episode 3, you know, it was him who put him together. It was on his orders that Darth Vader became Darth Vader. So he's got to be part of it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Thick Bantha, single song writer says, click the like, symbol of hope. Man, aren't we glad that we had a lot of hope and faith in Hot Toys for Star Wars, Fabio? I've been certainly been an advocate of that since I started this channel, and you know that. People are saying, boy, Aries, you're so positive when it comes to Hot Toys. You're so positive when it comes, you know, that Star Wars would eventually give us, you know, some of these OT figures, and not losing hope and hanging in there, having some patience, not having to have to buy the secondary market. Would we ever actually get another Bespin Luke and not having to have to buy the DX07? You know, would we have, you know, the same thing with Han, the same thing with some of these figures. And I think that right now, Hot Toys and Lucasfilm and Disney are giving us a lot of hope, Fabio, all together.
These shows, like I said before, these shows are gonna be epic. These shows are loaded with new information. These shows are leading to something so big. It's gonna be insane when it's finally all put together, and you see the big picture. You guys are gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
And Thick Bantha Boy says, fill me up, Aries. And I don't know what table you're at now. Maybe you skipped it a little bit, moved to different tables. Let's fill up table 77, baby.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, I think the fun began. Let's put this up from, I'm going to try and put this up. No, that's not what I want to do there. Let's do this again. Here we go. Fabulous Disaster became a YouTube member. And congratulations, Fabulous Disaster, a new Cantina Insider here. Thank you so much for that support. Let's go ahead and fill him up at the cold table. All of them at the table 40s, table 44, with this.
Right, I'll see you shortly. There's a meteorite that hit the ground near here. I want to check it out. It won't take long.
Some people thought I was crazy. You know, they thought it was crazy with the Bail Organa, but was crazy with this whole Todd and Luke and Hoth Luke and Hoth Han thing. You remember when I started it. However, so many people in the chats, though, Fabio, they just absolutely want that Luke and that Han so bad. You've talked about, as somebody who has the Bespin, the sideshow Bespin Han and Luke, and Todd, just how high priced and they are within the secondary market to get those figures, how coveted they are. And really, with this Hope that Single Songwriter was talking about it there, hit the like button for Hope and Star Wars. Now that they saw how well this Bespin Luke, I mean, competing and beating Moon Knight while Moon Knight was on, which was a pretty good show. A movie, a character, from 1980. There's not a chance in the world with that head sculpt that we don't get that Hoth Luke. What are your thoughts?
No, 100%. He's coming to Hoth. That's another figure that Hot Toys never released ever. Like you said, Sideshow has made it. They did very well with the figure. With both figures, Hoth Luke and Hoth Han. So, are they coming? Absolutely. It would be, it would be dumb for Hot Toys not to get into them. Like you said, look how expensive they're going for right now. So, it's just a matter of time.
Absolutely. And putting this up onto the screen from Fabulous Disaster, who just joined as a new Cantina Insider. Thank you. This channel and groups have helped me get my Hot Toys collecting going. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And speaking about the various different groups also associated with Six Scale Cantina, I have an amazing Facebook group. It's almost close to 900 members. So I think it's going to get to 1,000 soon, Fabio. I looked this morning. I've got 830 members at the Facebook group, Fabio. Fabio's a part of that as well. Let's go ahead and get that to 1,000. We're only 170 away. I've got the link to the Facebook group below. You can find that on Facebook, Six Scale Cantina. Also, the Instagram account, where I put some crazy stuff up on there and also put in updates. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And really, if I didn't get a chance to put it in the video description yet, which I will probably after this episode, you can just go to sixscalecantina.com. And the little social media buttons there, I have Facebook little icon, Instagram icon. You can hit those things. You can also go to the YouTube channel. I got it up there. And you can join those groups absolutely free. Come on. And the Mandalorian Huntress, again, she's putting this up on the screen. And I have to do it to the big dog pound. Woo! And that's really how I feel. I feel like Ric Flair right now with everything that Star Wars has given us. Single Songwriter, says Fabio, Howard Chan wants a Hoth Luke and Han for his own personal collection. A little wizard told me. Single Songwriter does get a lot of very valuable and interesting tidbits, for Hot Toys. And that is also a very, very good point. What people don't realize, Howard actually is an avid collector, like we are, Fabio, and a huge Star Wars fan. And now that he could actually make big money, and I think what he's seeing now that he could probably at this moment make the most money from Star Wars right now, I think he's going to fill all his desires. Certainly a Hoth Luke and a Hoth Han are just staples in Star Wars collecting in toys for decades already.
And the cool part is, Hot Sideshow, for those figures, their outfits are actually, really nice. They look really cool for what it is. But when Hot Toys makes them, forget it. They're going to be so nice.
Oh, they absolutely are. The Thor says, I want them all. Absolutely.
You're getting them all.
And Bob Dylan says, Fabio, you're killing him. I don't know if it's the smoke from your cigar or... And Six Scale Separatist says, hey, Aries, how about all those new bounty hunters? So I'm not going to freeze my screen over here, but I will tell you, and Fabio already sent me the picture, there's a lot of new bounty hunters, and they already teased the new bounty hunters, Fabio, from The Mandalorian Season 3. The new Mando looking. Yeah. We're going to get so many variations like troopers.
I sent you the pictures. That's what I sent earlier. Yeah, it looks really nice. There's so much coming from The Mandalorian Season 3. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And MB Dyson says Howard has a huge collection of unproduced prototypes. I'm telling you. Let's talk about that. Single Songwriter says, I think that was Forlom. Where was Forlom? Wow. I mean, we're going to get Forlom anyway. Zukas Forlom. Come on. Absolutely. All right. We just looked at Troopers last night, Fabio. We saw a lot of clean, crisp OT Stormtroopers and Troopers in general. How many Troopers we're going to get from this series?
Oh my God!
It's only the first 2 hours. There's 4 more hours to go.
I'm telling you, there's so much. I mean, I feel like it's getting a little redundant though, because it's literally every trooper from everywhere. It's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like every trooper from Boba it's going to be here, and from the movies they're going to be here, and so. It's to the point of just, what are you branding the trooper? You know what I mean? Are you branding it Book of Boba, Obi-Wan, the Mandalorian? That's all it's becoming. Some of the images that I sent you, specifically for the Mandalorian Season 3, you see Death Trooper specialists on there already. You see variants of Mandalorians on there. You see stormtroopers as well. So, it's going to be the same troopers just recycled over and over and over, and then just branded whatever the show is, whatever the movie is, whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to pull up some of those images right now, Fabio, to see what these look like here. And let's see if I can pull some of these up. Wow. I mean, that's kind of...
the pictures aren't great, but they do the job.
Yeah, I mean, it's see if I can pull this up onto the screen. No, I mean, it's a pretty good picture, I think. See if I could go ahead and share it. I'm going to make a call as I'm trying to pull this up onto the screen. And I really believe you bring up a good point with the OT troopers, especially the clean ones. So in light of what you said, is it possible that we can see an OT Stormtrooper from this Obi-Wan series in a 2-pack? And I say yes. I really smell for some reason, Fabio, that we're going to get a 2-pack OT Trooper from this show. OT, I mean, these troopers always go insane anyway. But I could actually see that. For people to get a couple of troopers and coming out with a 2-pack. I felt like we haven't had a 2-pack in troopers for a while, but I feel like that they're coming. But I can think that they'd be a good candidate for the show.
I was gonna say they've done that before. We've gotten double packs of troopers of the regular generic stormtroopers, so it's a possibility.
Yeah, you can never rule it out because you never know when they're gonna do it again.
Exactly.
Let me see if I can pull this up. Is this the one that you were showing me here that had the different?
Yes, that's the Mandalorian variants. Look at that.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Wow.
Look at the
now.
If you actually, now that I'm looking at it, if you pay attention to the deluxe, the quarter scale Mando Deluxe with that base, this is the helmet that you get as an attached accessory to the base. This specific helmet. So that was foreshadowing what was coming. 100%. Look it up.
How many variants of Mandalorians do you think we can get by the time that the Mandalorian Season 3, forget about Mandalorian Season 4, which is supposedly supposed to be called something different in a way, which I think then is going to be just spawning off into whatever series it is, like the Arrowverse. I think it's endless, like Troopers, dude. I mean, look at how many people, all these Mandalorians that are coming out. We're already getting, and we talked about it yesterday, but I want to talk a little bit about it here. We're getting what is it? Paz Vizsla? I can't try to. I'm losing the name right now, but heavy infantry Mandalorian.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah, and this is going to be, because think about it. Like I just said, Star Wars, even though it's such a big universe, there's a lot of recycled characters, specifically troopers. Any type of trooper you've seen in every, in most of the movies. Now you see them on the show, so they're going to take advantage. And like I said, they're just going to brand everything for that specific show or movie. But we're going to keep getting the same troopers, and then unless we get variants like these chrome, we got the black chrome Death Trooper, we got the regular chrome clone trooper, stuff like that is what's going to make it cool. But it's going to be the same stuff over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and for those of you that are just tuning in, this is the Dark Jedi Aries Tarrington, and you are watching a very special episode of the Market Chart Show with Aries and Fabio, live here on an epic weekend, Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, celebration weekend here for Disney and Lucasfilm and throughout the world for all Star Wars fans, and an epic time, a historic time, not only for Star Wars, but for Hot Toys as a toy manufacturer, the pivotal toy manufacturer, the greatest toy manufacturer, the top of the echelon in the industry anyway. Wow. I'm trying to pull up some more images that people have been sending me here on so much of this stuff. It is absolutely crazy. And I'd love to try and find the picture of that Han Solo. And here it is. I'm going to try and pull this up onto the screen so we can talk about this even a little bit more. But this, I think, is very, very telling here. And I want to go back to it, Fabio, as I share the screen here and pull this up. I'm getting better at all these screen sharing things anyway, by the way. There it is. Man, just look at that, dude.
Yep.
So what do you think? I want to talk more about the Han. What do you think about this diorama from Hot Toys? What is this going to consist of? What are the differences? I know what they are, but I want to hear it from you between this and what is the one we get from Jazz Inc., the one that Dante, the Beta Hot Collectibles, has. Talk to me a little bit what we're going to get here from Hot Toys.
Well, from what I understand, this is the Falcon cockpit, but it has an attachment piece. So you have obviously the actual cockpit, and then this is the rear side of it. And I think there's a detachable piece to it as well. That's what I think. That's what I saw. I think I'm not sure. I've never really looked at many pictures. But with this picture, there was another one with it, and it shows you the two different angles. Now, Jazz Inc., I didn't buy that. I don't know anything about it. I know Dante has it. It looks really cool, but I don't know, if it has this in the back like the other one, has this in the back. like the Hot Toys one. I don't know if if it's two different pieces, if it's just one piece. I don't know any of that. But from this specific, from the Hot Toys one, like I said, from what I saw, this is supposed to be the back, and then obviously the front is the cockpit, which looks amazing. But this is 100% coming, guaranteed.
Yeah, and they don't put this out without coming out with another Han, and then actually putting. I mean, they're not in discussions when they write this stuff down on their little chalkboards and their little things over there, and not going to give. I mean, right there is the Han Solo.
Yep.
And again, as we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show, 1,000% coming because it's $1,000 and above.
Yeah.
Within the secondary market. And my goodness, I mean, and Han is on fire right now. So is Chewbacca. So is the Chewbacca dude from The Force Awakens, just being honest. I mean, people are just trying to get whatever the heck they can to get a hold of a Han Solo, get a hold of a Chewbacca. That's another clear sign of data that, hey, put one out. People are going to just scoop it up and say, get this bad boy now. And I don't also think as well, we were talking about this a little bit on my show yesterday. We've been talking about it for a few weeks. We've been talking about it for months. And I know that some other channels are starting to talk about this now. But we've been talking about it for a while, to be quite frank. Lower production numbers, higher volume of announcements, and learning from the mistakes of certain things that they've done with Marvel, but also realizing some of the subtle differences in the IP of Star Wars from where it's founded under. Putting all that in together, I've been predicting for a while that perhaps partly of what they're going to do is they have new molds. And if they come out with new molds, they're going to reuse those molds like we're seeing with the heavy infantry Mandalorian as often as possible. And with older molds like this one, and with the new Luke DX1, that they just came out with DX25. They're not going to feel forced anymore, Fabio, and they haven't even done this in the past as well, to have to produce a certain amount every time that they produce these, especially if they can have multiple figures at one time on a line and book the time. They can bring those molds back and be like, hey, yeah, well, we know it's too many, but we're also not going to produce that many thousands. We're going to lower it by this many thousands. And then, by the way, in a year, which how long? It's only been very short time since that heavy infantry Mandalorian came out, and it's a year later, and here you're getting this that they can go ahead and give you different variations.
Now, question for you: what would you do? Because this is a possibility too. I mean, will it be pricey? Would it be pricey? Absolutely, but it's a possibility. What if they announced the Falcon with, a whole huge box? Falcon, Chewie, and Han. Number one. Question number one. How many of you would buy? Number two, how much do you think something like that would cost? And would you be okay paying that price? Because it's going to be pricey.
And I say I would buy it. I mean, I would think all kip and caboodle. So you're going to get two figures, right?
The reason I'm
well, you would need more than, well, I mean, they could fit a lot in that cockpit. I mean, you could fit two. You could fit Han and Chewie, but you can get Leia in there. You got Obi-Wan in there, Luke in there.
Dante's Jazz Inc. one, I think you could fit 4 people in there, if I'm not mistaken. So it's that big. I think you could put Chewie, Han, Leia, and Luke in the entire thing, I believe.
But you should be able to put Obi-Wan standing pretty much where Han is now, I believe.
Right, because that's supposed to be the back, correct. So now, how much do you think something like that would cost?
How many figures are we getting with the diorama set if they come with the pack?
Two. Han and Chewie. And the diorama together.
And just, God.
And Dante said you could put more than 5, I guess, in the Jazz Inc. one. So,
how much is the Jazz Inc. one?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I want to say $1,000, but I want to say $1,000.
Well, Jazz Inc. is going to be more expensive than Hot Toys to begin with. So
I feel like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon is just too big. So probably it'd be a lot, dude. It'd be like $1,500, maybe. Can they make the cockpit for $1,000 all in that size? It depends on what they're giving me with the cockpit. Are you saying it's all enclosed?
No.
This what they're showing here, like the Jazz Inc. one. I mean,
so this is only one angle of this Falcon cockpit. So this is only the back. If you go to the front, the opposite side of this, it's where you're actually seated with all the controls. This is the back of it. The front is on the other side. So you're gonna get an actual cockpit that opens up. It's got the seats here, and then obviously this picture is the back of that. It's like it's supposed to be inside of the Falcon, but it's not because it's they're not gonna give you a whole Falcon, so they give you a cutoff in the back with these with the attachments to look the electric wires and all that stuff.
Then,
so you're gonna get Han and Chewie and the entire full cockpit like the Jazz Inc. one.
I think Man of Hot Collectibles right in the middle of what I'm thinking. I still say about 1,000 to 1,500. He's saying 1.2K. I think around there. What do you say?
I'm gonna say probably between 1,000. I'm gonna say between 1,000 and 1,100. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because look at all the vehicles that are being announced now with troopers. So, that's a possibility because now we're talking about Han. We're talking about he's coming. We're talking about more vehicles are coming. So that's why I put those two together. Vehicles, Han and Chewie coming. Boom. Why not?
No, and it's a good point. I'm going to put some of these up over here because Man of Hot Collectibles, that we're putting them up over here. Dante is in the house. The Man of Hot Collectibles. It's always good to have our good friend Dante in here. Remember, Dante is live tonight. Live. The Man of Hot Collectibles tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You do not want to miss the Maestro Extraordinaire for sure. Let's put up some of these comments in here. Good to have 808 Michigan Jedi also in the house. What is going on? Look at that avatar he has. You do have to wonder. We're keeping a close eye every minute by minute.
He's ready for the announcement.
Oh, my goodness. I am ready for the announcement. 808 also says we're finally getting a Han Solo, and Fabio and I have been talking about it, so we'll just say it again. And we say... Yes. Come on.
Yep.
And the single songwriter says 1,500 for a Hot Toys cockpit would be worth every penny because of Hot Toys, it is a Hot Toys and not a knockoff. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Doc Smizzle says, Fabio, could you imagine if Hot Toys drops that boulder into the pond? And then he goes on to further say he is so ready for it. So on top of him saying he's ready for it, I'm going to say wait for it. They
call him the Wizard.
Or if you listen to Doc Smizzle last night, they called him Chewbacca or a Wookiee. Anyway, with that hair. Continuing to go on over here, Man of Hot Collectibles. Is it possible that he'll be playing like a Bantha tonight on his show? It depends on how much super chats he gets. Come on. Just surprised it's not Bespin. Puts up another one. Where is that? But it's like the comments are coming in so quick. No, we were talking about that too. And Fabio, let's just go back to that real quick. You're going to get this. Remember, and I was talking about this last year a lot, that you were going to see several Lukes up for pre-order at once and several Darth Vaders. You already got 3 up for pre-order. You're going to have 4 up at one time. You're going to have multiple Vaders. And Fabio and I were discussing that Han Solo is a very, very prominent character. You don't just need to have one of a time. If you can have 4 Lokis up, you can have more of one Han Solo Harrison Ford up at one time. So the Bespin Han is coming quick as well. Could actually come before this. Yeah, and it could come the way that Fabio was saying. Maybe they offer the figures in this as part of this, and you get the Bespin. There's so many ways that they could do this. But Fabio, again, real quickly, we're going to have multiple Hans up at one time.
It's possible.
Yeah. It's definitely very possible.
Very possible.
You're already seeing it with the Luke for sure. Mandalorian Huntress goes, the Dark Jedi knows. Let's fill her up again at table. The most dangerous table at 6 Scale Cantina.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
And look who else is in the house at table 2. Let's fill him up.
This is the way.
Hot Toys is showing you the way. Goodness gracious. Ruben asked this question, and Fabio and I talk about this one a lot, but we haven't talked about it the last couple of weeks. Where is A New Hope Obi-Wan on the market value chart? It's right now $598 and steady, and just $2 away from breaking the $600 tier range. So you have to wonder, is it possible that with the hype of this Obi-Wan series, at how epic the first 2 episodes were, that figure is about to breach the $600 tier range? And Fabio says, whatever his answer is.
No, I think so. Like I said, the reason why I said between 1,000 and 1,100. So I would give, for example, the figures alone about 250, 260, 270. So that's $5 and change, and then obviously for the cockpit, about $500-$600. So that's where I get those numbers from. But that would be a good marketing strategy for them to do a double pack with the cockpit. I think that would be very smart. I think a lot of people would buy it. Like I said, they're doing it already with the clones and the troopers and the vehicles that came out that were just recently announced. So it would be awesome for them to do something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's pull up another. Remember, you're watching the market chart show, a very special market chart show, live with Aries and Fabio, pulling up another picture onto the screen, which is pretty damn epic. And we're a little bit more buttoned up today than the last couple of days, where it's just crazy. But I have a funny feeling we're going to keep continuing to lose it over the next week. Pulling this up on here, Fabio, it is so darn nice, this thing.
Yep. These specifically, you need to get 2 so you could display the phase 1 and phase 2 helmets. But this is a beautiful figure, and these are like the figures that I want more of. Variants, different colors, different paint applications. If we were to get a Boba Fett like this, or a Boba Fett in a black chrome, that would be amazing. So these are the figures that I like.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday, but it goes all towards the theme at 6 Scale Cantina, that Hot Toys is diving deep into Star Wars. Fabio, they wouldn't put out a figure like this, a phase 1 clone trooper, chromed out like this, over something like, a Clone Commander Wolf, or a Gree, which doesn't even need a head sculpt, or a Fox that doesn't need a head sculpt, or something like that. If they weren't invested in and realizing they're going to make a ton of money off all this stuff, it just goes to show you. And honestly, how deep that they're diving into all of this, and also what TK Fobo has been coming on a lot the last 4 months, talking about, is it 1 clone, 2 clones, 3 clones, 4 clones, 5 clones, 6 clones.
He was he was not lying either.
Not lying. And I count, when you count this one, and also the black chrome, the Death Trooper, which I'm going to put up here in a minute, I think I'm counting 6 clones already just this month.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm laughing, because he was like, not 1 clone, 2 clones, 3 clones. We've gotten like 17 now.
I know. And I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable. But that one looks sweet, dude.
That color, that paint application on that, and like I said, on the black, the Death Trooper, with the black chrome, that's a beauty right there.
I think this one's even better.
Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That looks like, if you take the gun away and you kind of glance at it real quick, it looks like Darth Vader. If you look at it real quick. Yep.
Yeah, well, I always thought that the Death Troopers, even the Dark Troopers, have a little bit of Darth Vader-esque type of.
I think that was the
design.
idea. Yeah, because even the helmet. Look at their helmets. It kind of looks like Darth Vader a little bit.
What is that? Is that a hot toy behind it? What is that white prototype looking Boba Fett that's right underneath it? Are you seeing that?
Yeah, it's some type of like metal thing. I think I saw it.
It's not a hot toy, right? Because
no, not at all.
Wow, I mean, this is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So these have been. What is the story on these? Right now, you get free shipping, right? So when you pull up SideshowCollectibles.com, this doesn't show up as available yet. It's showing that the latest two releases actually are the Bark bike with the two clones we just got with the vehicles. Not these yet, but I think right now you can get these, right, with free shipping with the code.
So these two specifically don't even exist on their website right now. You
Right.
have to get a specific website to log on to, and then once you get there, they require the code that you're supposed to be getting, I'm assuming, at Celebration, and that's the only way you could pre-order. Yes, the whole thing was you get free shipping for the next for the 3 days. So you get it, I guess, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That's the whole point of the codes. That, I guess, that's the whole exclusivity thing of going to the show. But I'm telling everybody, and I've been telling everybody from day one, do not stress out. Do not think you're going to miss out on these. These are not going to be sold out. They're going to be available for everybody on Sideshow eventually. This happened also with the Dark Side Anakin when it was announced. You were only allowed to get it at Comic-Con. So you were able to pre-order it at Comic-Con on Sideshow and only pick it up. The only option was pick up only at Comic-Con or pick up at Con, I think is what it said. I remember that because I was stressed out. I was like, oh my God. I was like, what are we going to do now? I was like, are we not going to be able to pick one up if we don't go to the Comic-Con? What if I'm not going? Then I'm like, and then once the Comic-Con was over, they were up on Sideshow for everybody to pre-order. So people, don't stress out over this because you'll be able to get them as well. You're going to be limited to one per person, absolutely, but you're going to be able to pick them up.
And with 70 in here, you are watching the Market Chart Show with Aries and Fabio, a very special Market Chart Show live. Let's hit the like button, baby. If you didn't hit the like button yet, just strike a pose, move your finger, work your mouse, hit the like, baby. I agree with Fabio 100%. And I think some people are putting in the chats over here. Like Single Songwriter put his up over here. After Celebration, he says, Fabio, these Chrome figures will go up on Sideshow, just like you said. These Chrome figures have already been released at Secret Base in Hong Kong. Is this the reason why they haven't showed the pictures of these at actually, right now, the latest Star Wars release is, as we know, is from the other night, before the premiere of the Obi-Wan show last night of the two clone troopers. So they're probably going to wait till what, Monday on this, Sunday night, or what, to show them on the Facebook page?
Probably, yeah. They're going to wait a few days. They're going to wait at least till Celebration's over, guaranteed, and then they're going to be up. And exactly what he said, and these figures are going to be coming out within the next 3 months as well. So anything they're already made. These figures are already made. They're coming out, like I said. And the reason I know that is because when I ordered mine, obviously I put them for payment plan, and it's only a 3 payment plan. So that means that they're going to be released within 3 months.
And that's the other thing. Yeah, and that's the other thing to put in as well, to understand. These two figures, this one right here, this Black Chrome Death Trooper, and the other one I had up on the screen, which is the Chrome one here. These do not count in any way, shape, or form to 2023 Star Wars Hot Toys pre-orders.
Correct.
So right now you're at 12. That's it. That's all you got for 2023. We got all the way down to 15 for just remaining this year when you counted deluxe and time it all in together. These two will add that back up to 17. But it doesn't increase the number for what they need in 2023. There's already 34 as we march to 40 and beyond for Marvel for 2023. Star Wars is where they're diving into, is my point, so much more. Wow. Interesting on what is to come over the two clone troopers and vehicles we got, Fabio, over the last couple of days. But yeah, no, I agree. Just like the Arbor as well, or any of these, you miss out on the free shipping though, is if you don't do it this way, right?
What do you mean do it this way? Like what?
Like with the code, like ordering it before Monday with the code, you get free shipping, right?
Yeah, no, that's all it is. That's exactly so. So it's just to make you feel like, you know, by you being there at the celebration, you're benefiting and you're getting something exclusive that nobody else is getting, which is why you're getting these codes. You know, you get a code, you're like, oh wow, like I feel special. I got a code to order my stuff. That's the whole point of that. It's just a marketing thing for you to feel good about being there. But again, we're all going to be able to order these.
All right, let's talk a little bit again on what we could expect over tonight, over tomorrow night, over Sunday night, and over, Monday morning, leading up into Monday night. Let's start with the Obi-Wan series. What could we possibly get from the Obi-Wan series now that they went out and put out both shows? They're already showing a prototype Darth Vader. Obviously, they showed the face of Darth Vader at the end of the second show, so we already have that out of the bag. Do we get anything from the Obi-Wan series over the next 4 days that they're going to show at Sideshow, at the booth, Hot Toys, blah, 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 in conjunction? They just put these out. So normally they do stuff like that a day after or shortly after. We've seen the first two shows. Started with just the Obi-Wan series. Do we get any type of announcement? Are we going to switch the banner right now? That's the banner that's up on Facebook is still the Scarlet Witch, even though they came out with the two clone troopers for Hot Toys on the Facebook. Do we get anything on Obi-Wan?
See, here's the thing. The way I'm going to think about this is, comparing it to the Book of Boba show. We didn't get anything from Book of Boba until when?
We got the Fennec before.
Before the show started.
Yeah, like a week before.
And it was branded what?
Book of Boba.
Wasn't it the Mandalorian?
No, it was the Boba Fett on the throne. That's the Mandalorian. Fennec is the opposite. That was branded Book of Boba. They put that out.
So Fennec is the Mandalorian. So that's the only figure. So we didn't even get a Boba Fett from Book of Boba.
No, you got the Boba Fett. We didn't even get a Boba Fett from the Book of Boba, right? But we got Fennec.
Right.
Before the show started.
So a side character from the main show. That's all we got. Which is crazy. Which is crazy, right? So where I'm going with this is, do they have to announce something? Absolutely. What I think they're going to do is, because they already showed the Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan show, I think the next thing that's coming is obviously to reveal and announce and tease Obi-Wan. The problem is, what Obi-Wan are they going to show you? And that's another thing. I feel like we're going to get a couple of them as well. A couple Obi-Wans. I think we're going to get Jedi Obi-Wan, from probably the end of the show when he's fully, back on track with the Force, fully loaded. And I think we're going to get him, as he is right now, just regular, just fugitive Obi-Wan. So when are they going to announce? I think that they're going to wait until the show is ahead a little bit more. So maybe, maybe another, it's supposed to be 7 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
So
no, six episodes. Six episodes.
All right, so 6. So I'm going to say probably either in the middle of the season or at the end of the season. I think we're gonna get the announcements. I don't think anything now. We may get a tease, but that's gonna again hold off until I feel like the show is over, or already episode 3, episode 4.
Okay. Remaining to be seen what happens over the next several days. I could kind of go with that. I think it could go one way or the other, but I think that's a good call. Let's move on now to the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian lines, specifically what we can get over the next 4 days leading up into Monday, maybe even tonight. which I think we got to pay very close attention also as well. Let me pull this up onto the screen. They already showed this there. Is this something where they're just letting us know it's coming from the Book of Boba Fett and we have to wait some months? Or is this something that they could literally drop as an official announcement tonight, tomorrow, sometime before Monday, going down with Mandalorian and Book of Boba?
Well, they already have it on Sideshow saying coming soon, I believe. So the only thing that's left to happen is, them actually announcing this
Right.
up for pre-order. Is it going to happen? This is all going to happen, within the same time frame of everything that's up right now that says coming soon. I think it's all going to go up for pre-order at the same time. So within the next few days, I think it's going to happen. Absolutely.
Absolutely in here. And for everybody you're watching the market chart show with Aries and Fabio, a very special one, live here on May 27th, the kickoff in the United States for our Memorial Day weekend, our Memorial Day holiday. Also, the very second day for Star Wars Celebration. We're just getting started, and I believe we haven't seen anything yet. So really, in filling up table 77, let's go.
This is where the fun begins.
And that's what Fabio and I are discussing. Leaving this up on the screen, Fabio, they've also have, not pulling it up, Cobb Vanth again on display. If they want to go ahead and have Hot Toys actually put on their website the Timothy Oliphant head sculpt and then show it tonight, show it tomorrow when they have a show, show it Sunday, that could very well happen. Is there anything else from the Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian that we could be seeing over the next several days that they're going to wait for Hot Toys to actually put up on their website, particularly Cobb Vanth with the head sculpt, perhaps Cad Bane, perhaps Black Chrysanthemum, perhaps Boba Fett, perhaps a Grief Karga, Carl Weathers, something that they're not showing yet. They've done this at other cons before, and then voila, Guy Klender or one of those guys comes up and says, and by the way, here's this other one. We could show it now because Hot Toys has shown it. Are we going to get anything from these over the next several days at all?
You know what I was just thinking as you were saying that? I feel like, the reason why we haven't gotten any announcements, like you just mentioned, Black Chrysanthemum and characters specifically from Book of Boba, is because exactly what I said earlier. They were just using the show to introduce all these characters that are going to end up on The Mandalorian anyway. So I think that these big characters that we were all expecting to be announced from the Book of Boba, I think they're going to be held off to The Mandalorian season 3, and I think that's where we're going to get them all. I think the reason why we're not getting them is they wanted to get a reaction to these characters and see if we were interested in any of them. And now they realize, you know what, they want these characters. We're going to be able to sell these figures if we make them. So I think what they're waiting is holding off to Mandalorian season 3, and they're going to announce all the figures that are carried over from Book of Boba onto that show.
Yeah, putting up some of these comments. Hold that thought, Fabio. 808 Michigan Jedi, we're going to get bombarded the next few weeks and months. I agree. It doesn't all have to happen this weekend, but there's going to be stuff this weekend. But I agree. We're going to get bombarded the next few months. Single Songwriter puts up, R5 is finally coming. It has been in the coming soon. I've been talking about that, but we're getting the different one from that zone for years now. Yeah, it has. It has been. And it's another one that Fabio and we've all been talking about. I got to play this clip. Let's fill up table 0. And that from hell there's not a snowball's chance in hell, maybe in Hoth, but not in hell, that we were ever going to get R5 D4 during the dark times, during the aftermath of The Last Jedi. You could even sell a dark side Anakin then. Right now, everybody's spilling their coffee over Dark Side Anakin, Darth Vader in this Obi-Wan series.
That, what you just mentioned, is a great point to show you the shift in what was going on with Star Wars. You couldn't get rid of a Dark Side Anakin fast enough. Like, they didn't sell out forever. And now people, look, you can't find one anywhere. So that shows what The Mandalorian did to not only, Star Wars, but Hot Toys as well. Because everything that they made prior, it's gold now.
Yeah, let's fill up table 2 again with that thought.
This is the way.
Just what you said. The Mandalorian. And that's really interesting there, bringing up these figures, from the crypt. And continuing with the Mandalorian, or really the Book of Boba Fett, because I agree with your assessment on the Mandalorian, and some of those are going to come closer to the Mandalorian season 3. However, I feel like the Book of Boba Fett, we may get a couple here over the next few months. We may get a couple this week. So talking specifically about this Paz Vizsla, the heavy infantry Mandalorian, Fabio, talking specifically about R5D4 from the Book of Boba Fett, talking specifically about coming up with more figures now. The 2 figures we got from the Book of Boba Fett are Fennec Shand, and the other one is a KX Enforcer droid. They obviously just teased the Paz Vizsla, the heavy infantry Mandalorian. They obviously just teased the R5D4. So Chrysanthemum, Cad Bane specifically, a Boba Fett, any of those this weekend, just for the Book of Boba Fett to kind of finish that line, or at least put out a couple more from that line? Or are you thinking as well, even with those, more closer to the Mandalorian season 3?
To me, it would make sense, obviously, if they're from the show, to brand them whatever the show was. But I feel like it's taken way too long for anything to be announced from the show. You know what I mean? Like, they waited way, way too long. And, somebody like Cad Bane specifically, I think should have been announced already. Because they know that he's a big deal character that everybody's been asking for and will sell immediately. It's not like, we're going to have to wait. And no, even if there's nothing going on with him at all, he will sell. So that's what's weird about it, that they haven't even announced it. So my thing was, maybe they're holding off until season 3 of The Mandalorian. Maybe he'll appear there again, because remember we talked about him not being dead. So I think that I'm just trying to make sense of why they haven't announced anything at this point from, the Book of Boba, specifically those big characters. So, I'm just assuming that that's what they're doing. But can they come? Absolutely.
With 72 in here, let's smash the like button right now. Let's go ahead and get the likes up on this epic market chart show with Aries and Fabio. A special one live here on a Friday, Memorial Day weekend. I will remind you all while you're in here that I will be live tomorrow evening, Memorial Day weekend, 6 p.m. Eastern, for my regular market show live. Actually, it's my regular live and raw on Saturdays. I will have Fabio. I will also have Dante and a full panel tomorrow night. You're not going to want to miss it, with all this latest Star Wars news that we're going to get from now until then. So make sure you have that on your schedule for tomorrow. And we'll continue to give you other news, because I will be live on Sunday for Memorial Day weekend as well. And Fabio and I, even though it's Memorial Day, we will be live, Fabio and I, with the market show on Monday night. So you don't want to miss that. I think we're going to have a lot to recap, and maybe even stuff to look forward to by the midnight hour, Fabio, on Monday. But continuing on with this, I was talking to you offline about this yesterday. This is so sweet, and looks even so much sweeter, I think, than the other R5 that they teased some years ago from the figures from the crypt. And they're labeling this R5D4 from the Book of Boba Fett. So they're obviously coming out, Fabio. I know you were just talking about why are they taking so long. with Book of Boba Fett characters. But look, we
Yeah,
know Boba's coming. They're going to put out side characters like R5D4, which is crazy.
Right, but think about this. Why are they doing side characters, all side characters from Book of Boba? You know what I mean? Like, why are they not focused on the big characters like Boba Fett? You know what I mean? Like, that's my point. So I feel like they're using the show they're going to give you whatever they want. So mostly it looks like side characters from the show. And again, all those main characters from the show, I think they're going to carry over to The Mandalorian. And I think that's where we're getting them.
Very, very good point. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. I think it could be the truth is somewhere in the middle over there. Or maybe you're right on. And let's talk right about this R5D4. Dude, I talked about this with you yesterday offline. This looks, the weathering on this. There's no way I could pass up on this one where I could have on the other one, because we're getting that awesome Attack of the Clones R2 that is number one, because it's actually the best R2 I've ever seen. And the best R2 I've ever seen from Hot Toys. I mean, it's better than the OT one with that weathering, just as far as aesthetics-wise, visually-wise. That Attack of the Clones R2, how sweet is this going to look next to that dude on the shelf? Mm-hmm. The way that this weathering on this is sick. Look at this.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Very nice. They definitely weathered it a lot more than the first one that was teased. And actually, this one looks like it has way more detail than the original picture that they had shown years ago. So it looks a lot nicer.
All right, so let's talk about this. Even though it doesn't have a metal dome, could there possibly be any parts of this that are die cast? And if so, what would they be?
I don't think so. I mean, what can they can't even, because for R2 was the dome. So, this has got to look all the same. So I think it's all plastic. I don't think it's going to be any die cast. But if they add some pieces here and there, I wouldn't know where. The joints maybe, I don't even know, because it'll looks the same.
Yeah, it does. And let us know in the chat, what is your impressions on this R5D4? I know a couple of you have said that you've been waiting for this from the figure from the crypt. It looks like we're getting an R5D4 though, Fabio. This will be the second time, obviously a different one, but another figure from the crypt, dude. They're like, hey, it's coming.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's everything, like everything's coming. Everything is coming.
Oh my God, it's so crazy. 808 says no spoilers during the show. No, we've already spoiled it all. We were talking about
one thing before you continue for you guys. It's getting very overwhelming, and I'm speaking for myself as well. I buy everything pretty much, regarding Hot Toys and stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, like it's getting crazy. So, one little thing from me to you guys, whoever would like to hear the advice, at least, everybody's going to do what they want. That's fine. But my thing is, don't get overwhelmed over this. Do not get overwhelmed. If you can't afford something, you don't have to go crazy. Oh my God, I'm going to miss out. Worry about whatever is more important first, and then worry about collecting. If you can't afford something, hold off. There's a chance that if you don't get it right away, you may get it, for cheaper later on when they're announced, when they're released. There's a lot of that going on. Your figure is released, and then a few days later you find it for less than retail right away. So, don't freak out. Don't go crazy. Don't think that, you got to sell your car to go, buy your, it's just toys. Don't go, don't make yourself crazy over any of this. If you really want it, you'll figure out a way to get it without, stressing your life away.
No, let's go ahead and stay on that for a little bit before we move into the next figures. That's a really good point, because I get, messages too. People are like, hey, I'm overwhelmed. Or, it can get overwhelming or this type of thing. And give you a perspective to help you along. You see a lot of people in here, Fabio, as well. We saw messages on Big Brenna's show last night of more people saying, oh, I'm selling off my Marvel stuff. I'm selling off. You're seeing so much of that, but people having difficulty selling their Marvel stuff or selling this stuff or selling that stuff versus the Star Wars stuff, which is very, very, very hot and easy to get that money, unless, of course, it's first order stormtroopers or, a first order Finn, the regular one. It's not the trooper or a couple of those. and characters or whatnot. And I think it's a question of, when I first came into this hobby, for me, I was not overwhelmed by the amount of Star Wars heat that's on 6scalecantina.com, that's in the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys, which is far more vast than what you're seeing that's on pre-order or upcoming. At least with the stuff that's on pre-order and upcoming, even though it's so much less than what's in the secondary market, you have no chance of getting it until 2023 with a vast majority of it, or at least with 12 of them so far. And then with a lot of the other ones that are going to come out, as 808 Michigan Jedi said, over the next few months, and then once 3 months pass, it's all going to be 2024. You're not going to have a chance to get it until 2024. We're in the secondary market. You can get it right now. And with the vast majority of Star Wars figures for double or triple or quadruple the price. So you want to talk about being overwhelmed. So coming from my perspective in there, when I've gone from different collections and diving into other collections, I didn't come into collecting, Black Series, or coming into collect a vintage collection, or coming into collecting, some Gentle Giant, big, Star Wars 12 backs or vintage on their Giant cards, or coming into even vintage, box stuff or Star Wars stuff and be like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? You start off with what you want or what you can get, and you build up from there. And I think what some people are starting to do, Fabio, is they're making a decision. I want to collect Star Wars, so I'm selling off this or I'm selling off that to get into it, which I think is pretty sound, because certainly that's something that I've done through the decades in collecting. But I'll pause there for a minute to get your thoughts on that.
Well, it goes to show you what's happening with Star Wars. The reason why this is happening now more frequently now is because anybody collecting prior to The Mandalorian, there was no Star Wars anything. You know what I mean? Everything was OT and, the sequels. And after the sequels, that was it. Then they started with, once The Mandalorian, because the reason why everybody has more Marvel is because Marvel has been it forever. Marvel and DC to a certain extent. Star Wars was never, the hottest thing coming from Hot Toys. It never was. Because of The Mandalorian, now reviving the entire Star Wars line, it's giving it value as well. So by giving it value, you're creating these people who, oh my God, this figure is selling for double, meaning Star Wars figures. This specific figure is selling for twice the price. What are people going to do? Let me get out of Marvel, since there's nothing to it. There's no value to it. People will say, I like Star Wars as well. Let me just focus on Star Wars, because at the end of the day, guess what? It holds the value because of what's happening with the line. What happens with that? Now, not only are you comfortably collecting, what you like, but you're not completely losing out on money. Somebody in the chat said, people are losing money to get rid of Marvel. Absolutely, because nobody's buying Marvel. Everybody's Star Wars. Because,
and there's also another aspect to that you and I have discussed the last few weeks. It's not just about Marvel's hot. You got Thor coming out. Doctor Strange killed it. Spider-Man was above the charts. It's what Hot Toys is realizing, and people are realizing, Marvel is not built from a toy foundation. And the difference between that and Star Wars is built on a toy foundation. The phenomenon with Star Wars in 1977 was not only the film, but the toys and merchandise that came out on top of it, not the comics. It's a completely different ballgame. And while there are, Fabio, people that come in from statues, people that come in from that collect Hot Toys, sure. The vast majority of collectors that are coming in are from that vintage Kenner, are from a toy background. They're not doing it the same way they collect statues. You cannot 1000% compare this the same way to the way Marvel was and say, well, they're diving deep into Star Wars. What's going to happen in a couple years is the same crap. It's all going to crash. No, I'm telling you right now, the vintage Star Wars is doing the complete opposite from crashing. They're going up into the hundreds of thousands. I can't even touch some of the figures now that were more in the thousands range. Now they're in the 10,000s. It's not going the same way as Marvel. It's going up. You can't look at it, Fabio, the same exact way. It's impossible. It's not founded on the same thing.
Right. And you know, going back to Marvel though, I feel like the reason why Marvel has died down a bit is because of, you know, the Avengers being over. I feel like the Avengers had Marvel going for many, many years. With
And
how
pause that. Pause that. Keep your point there. You're right. And what was going on at the same time during Infinity and End War and Endgame? The destruction of Star Wars with J.J. Abrams and The Last Jedi.
So,
People were putting their hope into something else.
so that's the point, you know. So that's what I'm getting at. The Marvel, you know, era, which was, you know, Iron Man, you know, the Avengers, all those movies that happened, you know, Ant-Man, that was the prime of Marvel, in my opinion. That was, you know, their entire, those 10 years of Marvel, of those movies, that was their prime. Yeah, is Marvel going to die down? Absolutely not. Like you said, look at Spider-Man, look at Doctor Strange. There's more movies, you know, that are going to still come out that are even better than those. So it's not about that. What's happening is the complete 180 that Star Wars did after The Mandalorian was so shocking for people, and people didn't expect Star Wars to ever be revived like this all over again, is what makes it attractive for people to start collecting Star Wars all over again. But is Marvel dead? Absolutely not. Marvel will make a comeback, and you're going to see people regretting, oh my God, I wish I would have never gotten rid of that figure, this figure, when I was collecting Star Wars. That's going to happen as well.
No, I think you just hit everything right on the head. It couldn't even been better said. And welcome everybody who is dropping in, watching a very special episode of the Market Chart Show with Aries and Fabio live. Go ahead and hit that like button. Wow, historic time for Star Wars. Had to have this show continuing to go on. Fabio, I'm going to give a little bit of my tips on how I'm handling all this heat from Star Wars, because it's just a drop in the bucket. And it's going to get more and more. And then I'm going to get your thoughts on that as well, because I concur with everything you said. And I'm going to give also a different perspective and perhaps a different way that you could look at as well, which accomplishes the same thing of what you're saying. So for me, even before all this heat, and believe me, there was no way back in the beginning of the year when there was 3 pre-orders for Star Wars in 2023 that we were going to go into 2023 with under 30 Star Wars pre-orders. It just wasn't going to happen. But it's pretty much the same. You have the same amount of pre-orders this year you had last year. You're going to have it in 2023. How did you manage it last year? How did the Dark Jedi manage it last year? How did you manage it the year before? How did you manage it when you came into collecting with all the heat within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys? You know, I still don't have K2SO. And you know how much I love Star Wars. I still don't have Director Krennic. And you know how much I love Star Wars. I still don't have a Hoth Princess Leia. And you know how much I love Star Wars. I still don't have a Grand Moff Tarkin. I can go on and on. Why? Is it because the Dark Jedi doesn't want those? No. It's because I have to budget and I have to pick and choose where I put some of these things into. Right. And the same thing, I am not changing with all this heat. I do not collect in the Hot Toys line any of the Stormtroopers that do not come with head sculpts. And is it possible that with all these clone troopers coming, that I'm going to change from the parameters that I set? And I say no. Then why, Aries? Why? Why are you spilling your coffee over non-head sculpted figures? Why are you doing this? Is it possible because the Dark Jedi is so excited with the commitment that Hot Toys is making with Star Wars? And I say, yes, I don't got to have every god darn thing to be excited about collecting. I don't got to have every damn thing to be excited about Star Wars. But I sure as hell appreciate the selection now that I can go ahead and get. So I'm going to go ahead and approach it the same way I approached the secondary market. They could go ahead and give us 50 figures tonight. And all I'm going to do for me is get overwhelmed on how I'm going to put this all in the show and how am I going to talk about it all. And I'm going to go crazy with Hot Toys, which basically, with everything we got, it's almost, it doesn't matter if it's 50 or what we already got. It's overwhelming. That's a fact. It's overwhelming in a good way, though, where we're doing this. And the thing of it is, I'm going to continue to stick with my parameters. I'm not collecting Marvel Hot Toys figures. I never have.
Right.
I never will. I'm not collecting DC figures. I never have. I never will, at least at this point. Once money situation changes. I'm going to go ahead. I collect Star Wars collectibles. And when I collect Hot Toys, I collect Star Wars Hot Toys collectibles. When I collect Hasbro, I collect Star Wars Hasbro toys, not other Hasbro toys. So I don't get overwhelmed with anything Hasbro is going to do outside of Star Wars. That's what I collect. And so when you stick within those parameters, it can help you be able to determine, hey, what you're going to do. And also, if I can't afford every figure, like Director Krennic, like the Hoth Leia, I get the figures that I really, really want. If they're going to give me an offering up of a Cobb Vanth with a Timothy Oliphant head sculpt, you bet your ass I'm getting that. Is that going to go over like an Axe Woves if they gave me an Axe Woves head sculpt? Let's talk about that one argument. I say yes. I'm going to skip on the Axe Woves if I have to budget. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to stress over it. I'll be like, maybe some other time, but give me the Timmy Oliphant, baby, because that's the one I really want. And I'm really not losing any sleep over the Axe Wolves head sculpt. And sometimes we get into this as well because we just want to collect because that's what we do, but we really don't want it, which is why you see people max exiting some other figures because they were just collecting to collect.
Right.
Now, if you really just want to collect Star Wars and you want to collect Star Wars Hot Toys, I think you're going to have your pick of the crop. And if you get your pick of the crop, now you're going to have to also pick what figures you want and move forward that way. That is my advice to you. It's the way I've been collecting for decades. I learned the hard way decades ago when I went into debt, severe debt over this. I've been down this road. To me, this is of no consequence, but that's my advice. I'll let Fabio talk.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, everybody's going to do what they want, and everybody has to do what works for them, you know? And the way you collect, exactly what you said, is actually a really good thing because you leave yourself wide open to letting whatever's meant to be released get released. Anything that's meant to be announced, get announced. And then you are in control at all times because you get to pick and you get to choose, like you said, what you really want. Somebody like me, for example, I get pretty much everything, right? So that's when it gets a little crazy when it's like when they're constantly announcing, you know, stuff for pre-order, boom, boom. Especially right now, all these Star Wars figures. I've literally pre-ordered every single one so far, including the chrome, the black chrome, and the clone, the chrome clone trooper. So that's why your way is great because you can sit here and obviously know. All right, so they've announced this clone, that clone, C3PO, R2, blah blah blah. Out of all of those that have been announced or have been released, you know, for months now, or maybe even a year or two, which one of those from that whole wave do I really, 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 really want in my collection right now? So now it's up to you. You will, let's say, for example, now it's completely sold out. Well, guess what? It's up to you. If you really want it that bad, you're willing to pay whatever it went up for. That's your choice. Because guess what? That figure will be very meaningful to you in your collection. Getting everything that comes out doesn't necessarily, I mean, unless you really love everything that comes out, it's really unnecessary. But That's why everybody collects different, because your view on collecting is completely different than somebody else. And that's what makes collecting great. Should everybody collect everything? Absolutely not. If you like it and you can, why not? But you should not go crazy. And that was my whole point earlier. You should not go crazy. You should not be stressed out. You should not be, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this? Do I have to start selling off my stuff and take a loss because I don't have any money? Don't do that to yourself, because it's not worth it.
Absolutely not. And the thing of it is, I think at the end of the day, you put parameters on yourself. And it's exciting when there's new food that comes out, or there's new things that come out outside of toys, or outside of this and outside of that. You exercise, and you're like, wow, I want to try this, or I like this, or I like that. You exercise the same parameters you put on yourself when you go to the Walmart, when you go to Costco, when you go to Sam's Clubs, when you go to the flea market, when you go to the store, when you go to this event, when you go on vacation, where you go to this, where you go to that. It's the same thing. It's like if they came out with a bunch of movies. You could see all the movies at once, or you could go ahead and say, well, I really want to see this movie. I'll see this movie. I'll watch that one down the road, or I'll do this, or maybe I'll collect this in a different line, which is what the Dark Jedi does. I don't need to have every single Star Wars character in one Hot Toys line. I can have it in other lines.
Right.
The thing of it is, but that doesn't mean that that's the right way to do it. But the right way to do it in whatever situation you're in is what Fabio and I are telling you, is to have some type of parameter. And at the end of the day, if you have that, you will embrace the selection. And you'll certainly appreciate from Hot Toys that you have a smorgasbord that you can choose from. And at the end of the day, if you're like, oh, but I think I may want that figure, that's always part of the game. It may go up higher in the secondary market. But here's the other thing that you're learning with Star Wars. There's always going to be a 2.0 version. There's always a potential for a reissue, especially with this line. As you're learning right now, it looks like they just teased another Han Solo from A New Hope. You just got another heavy infantry Mandalorian. Patience is also a big key. I'm having a lot of patience for a Krennic. If I find a good deal on a Krennic and I have the money and I have it budgeted, I may pull the trigger. But I know, the Dark Jedi knows when I'm pulling the trigger for a Ben Mendelsohn figure, I know in my heart, whether you believe it or not, I really believe in the data. We're going to get another Ben Mendelsohn figure sometime over the next few years. It's just happening. So I also know that when I make that purchase, probably going to be another Krennic. And I go into that knowing that, Fabio.
Right, yeah, and that's what I mean. You're in full control of every single penny you spend. Whether it's buying aftermarket, in the secondary market, or buying brand new. You are not worried about, oh my God, I'm going to miss out on something. Oh my God, I need to get this. Oh my God. And you love Star Wars more than me. I know that for a fact. So that's what I mean. You're in control so much that anything that's released, yeah, you get excited about it because you're excited to talk about it, but not necessarily, oh my God, I need to get this right now. And that's what makes the big difference in a way of people collecting. Another thing, a lot of people start freaking out, and instead of slowing down or stopping or taking a break, what do? Oh, I can't afford this anymore. This is too much. I'm out. And they completely start getting rid of their stuff and selling their stuff. I can't collect anymore. I'm out. You don't need to be so drastic. It doesn't have to be, get everything or get nothing. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. You can, you don't have to get everything. Look at something that you can, see a figure. Does it look great in my collection? Can I afford it? Do I really want it? Am I really going to appreciate it every single day that I have it in front of me? These are the questions that you got to ask yourself. It's not just, oh my God, Hot Toys came out with something, I need it. That's what causes problems, and that's what makes people sell their stuff 2-3 days later after getting it, which is, to me, ridiculous.
Putting this up here from Bob Dylan with the $2 drop. Mace and Padme, I won't ask for Star Wars figures ever again.
That's a lie.
No, because then you're going to ask, where is the Bestman Han? And I see someone else in the chat over there saying they teased the Han. You bet your ass they did. For you, I'll put this back up on there. I guess it's so much news we can't even keep up on it. Mace and Padme, though, let's address the super chat. Thank you so much, Bob. Look, if it doesn't come over the next 3 days, they already teased, Bob, the Mace Windu with the battle droid that's up on pre-order right now on Sideshow, Bob. So listen very carefully. Everything that Howard has done since April 13th with the freaking Bespin Luke has been done so carefully by design. So let's fill up table 66 real quick over here.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
There's not a chance in hell before the end of this year is over. I'm going to go way out to be safe that we don't get Mace or Padme officially announced. But this is going to be in the next wave of thrills, which we haven't even gotten Attack of the Clones yet. But its celebration is just beginning, Fabio.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. So stay tuned. Stay tuned because fire is still ahead.
Yeah, it is absolutely still ahead. And let me go ahead and pull this up. See if I can find this. That comment on they teased the Han. What Han Solo's teased by Kinky Spinach said. What Han Solo tease? Well, before I get to that and pull it back up just for Kinky Spinach, let me go ahead and pull this back up onto the screen. So you know what this is, Fabio, which is really, really cool and just teased by Hasbro. This is from last night. This is the little, what is that?
The little droid, that little flying droid. This was like a little.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that is. That was the thing that was helping her get out of her being tied up.
Yep. So this is coming, and this is the they call it the Lulu type of thing, or you see Star Wars there. It'll come some other pictures.
Don't forget that Hot Toys makes like life size props as well. So they've made the pager for Captain Marvel. They've made the arc reactor for Tony Stark. They've made the spider, the actual robotic spider from Spider-Man. Don't be shocked if this is made as well as a one-to-one replica of this item.
Oh, I would spill my coffee on this. That I would get if that's a one-to-one replica. But let's talk about the other aspect. If we're wondering what could come. Now, we were talking about Bail Organa, and we were talking about the young Princess Leia. And, it is a very strong possibility now. We were talking about it at the beginning of the show. We're going to go back to it a little bit because of this picture here. What could possibly come in a 2-pack, which is now very, very plausible. Just like the Wicket and Leia, getting that young Princess Leia, who's obviously a very prominent character in the show. A lot of times they won't just put out that small figure. They certainly put it out with a Bail Organa, which Fabio and I absolutely agree now. We were texting back and forth late last night, early yesterday morning. Holy crap, it's coming. If you get a Bail Organa, and Leia figure could come with an accessory like this, Fabio. This could be one of the accessories.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. If we get a young Leia, this is one of the accessories 1,000%. But what I'm saying is, Hot Toys also makes life size regular stuff. As part of they have a whole line of stuff like I mentioned before. So don't be shocked if this is made by Hot Toys as a life size prop toy.
Yeah, and it's actually called Lola. Thank you, Oilers Workshop. L-O-L-A, Lola. Because she walked up to me and she asked me to dance, and in her drop-down voice sheet, whatever. I could recite the whole song by the Kinks. Anyway, yeah, it's really, really cool. So Kinky Spinach is asking Fabio, what Han Solo tease? And I think it's all with that cockpit. And I know we talked about it in the show, but a lot of people have been bringing it up, and I don't think I'm giving it as much attention as it warrants. But I did get a ton of messages with this yesterday because, and again, it's very carefully, very, very carefully, all this stuff thought out by Hot Toys. And I'm going to pull it up on the screen again just to, show. And even though it's a figure that has been already released, in the past. They're showing this at Sideshow like this. And I don't think anything right now is a coincidence where they're going to play with us. And so there you go, Kinky Spinach. Right there, showing this at the booth. And Fabio, again, just real quick for the sake of talking about it again, there's not a chance in the world that they put out this diorama and don't give us the figure that they're showing here. Obviously, they're showing this. It's the Han and Chewbacca set is $1,000 in the secondary market, and forget about Han by himself. It's off the charts.
Yep. And like I said earlier, with the new vehicles announced, right now, they showed you the vehicles for pre-order, the figure and the vehicle. Give it a few days, and you're going to be able to get the figures by themselves and the vehicles by themselves. What they're trying to do is obviously try to make as much money as possible and try to force people into, oh my God, if I don't get these vehicles with the figure now, I may not be able to get them at all. They're going to get their pre-orders in, and then you're going to see they're going to give you each character by themselves, each vehicle by itself, which is why I have a feeling that there's a big chance that they could give us the whole Falcon cockpit with Chewie, Han. Why not? And then, obviously, you're able to get them all separately as well. So you'll have the Falcon. Let's say, for example, somebody already has Chewie and Han, and they don't want to get a second set. Then you get the cockpit by itself. So I feel like that's what they're going to do as well.
All right, so here's what Kinky Spinach said again here, Fabio. He said, "Whoa, I want another, even if it's the same." So he's kind of right now spilling his coffee. He's tuning into 6scalecantina.com, getting this news. Looks like he's pretty excited. Let's play it for him. But here's something we haven't talked about yet with this figure. In my view, it's doesn't have to exactly 100% be a straight reissue. And what I mean by that is there's a possibility that they could 2.0 this, but make it and make it a reissue. My case in point. You're getting the heavy infantry Mandalorian. It's basically the same again. Who's to say that they couldn't give you an extra accessory, take an accessory away? Going with the analogy, let's just go with that. It doesn't come with the cockpit, or they give you an option of getting the cockpit with the figures or getting them individually, a la carte or whatever. They give it to you like this solo. Does it exactly have to come with the same accessories? Could they give you maybe something extra that wasn't in the same release? Could they could they give you a Han, battle damaged, maybe after the, he falls into the swamp thing over, or not the swamp thing, but I'm just kind of thinking, is there something that they can do, adding an accessory that doesn't make it exactly the same? Is it possible?
Well, they're always going to give you. So, for example, if you're getting a Han, you're going to get his gun, right? That's a must. You have to. You can't get a Han with no gun. So any accessory that belongs to the character, period, you have to get. What they may change is things that, a little thing here and there. So, for example, when they came out with the original 2-pack, the special edition accessory was the two things. It was like the belts for each one, and then the headset as well. What was the point of the headset? If Hot Toys, I'm assuming that Hot Toys mentality was, well, we have the Falcon, let's give them the headset. But I don't think they thought we're not ever gonna release this Falcon. So I think that's why those headpieces were given, because they thought maybe we have the Falcon, we've teased it, they've seen it. Maybe once we put it out, they'll have the headset to be able to display within the cockpit. Fine. So accessories like that don't need to be given to Han Solo because there's no need, unless you have the cockpit. So they could have done without those the headset and
those exclusive versions, sure.
Correct. So that's what I mean. So they'll give you a random thing as an exclusive, but they have to give you his base accessories no matter what.
All right, let's talk about what Single Songwriter put it over here. This is very, very fascinating with this tease. because I don't actually think we're going to get any 2.0 head sculpt of Han Solo right now. I think they're going to reuse these molds. You'll get that closer, maybe afterwards. This is my view. I could be wrong, and they could give it to us tomorrow. But I think they're going to continue to go with these. And let's say that they do, and you could get some repaints or stuff like that. Single Songwriter puts in a good point here. Han Solo with a purse swap, a purse system, have the smirk. They could literally kit bash this as well, because the Stormtrooper Han Solo came with a smirking head sculpt. They can give you a version of this where they're like, hey, we're going to give you both head sculpts. We're going to give you this again. It's a straight reissue. You get 2 head sculpts, plus we're going to give you a purse system. That immediately, even though it's the same damn stuff that was released before, Fabio, gives you a different version that was out on the market. And I mean, is it possible that they could do something like that? And say, here you go, turning eyes, 2 head sculpts, enjoy.
Very smart way to look at it, but if you're getting another Han, you're not getting a reissue by any means at all. I feel like at this point in the game, you're getting a new head sculpt. It may be similar to the original, but it's definitely redone. It's definitely tweaked. It's definitely better painted. There's definitely more detail. So that's what I think. If they're going to go that route, they're definitely giving us new everything. What you said, absolutely. To give us the Stormtrooper disguise, head with the smirk, and the original. But my thing is, to give you a purse system in a reused head doesn't even make sense. Obviously, they'll give you a purse system on a brand new head that they could resell to us as a new figure. I feel like, again, it'll be a 2.0 before it's a reissue.
Very, very interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. Adrian Turley asks, hello all. Was Kenobi good? Haven't seen it yet. Oh, man. Well, you got to go back and rewatch this show. I gave it a 2 trillion out of 1 out of 10. One of the most phenomenal experiences of my life was last night when I was exhausted and I stayed up and I was shocked. I was like, oh, crap. I have to wait until tonight now to see the second show. I didn't think we were going to get both of them. I thought there was another one to today. They gave us both starting last night at midnight. And my goodness. And the direction they went again, Fabio, with the Princess Leia and that young girl, what a fabulous actress. And what a great chemistry that she has. Seeing Jimmy Smits back, seeing him back with Ewan McGregor. I'm kind of like, I didn't want the experience to end. I was kind of like freaking this, sitting there like, oh man, I gotta wait till next week. And and the way that they opened it up, it was just so damn epic. And Adrian, I will warn you that we've been talking about spoilers all through the show. So if you don't want it, you don't want to listen. But oh my God, it was phenomenal.
No, telling you, it's a very exciting time for Star Wars, for collecting, for, again, Hot Toys has been redoing, bodies. That's why we're getting a brand new DX19 Batman. For that reason, they're updating things, they're updating materials, they're updating. So anything that's coming at this point it's going to be the highest quality of everything you're going to get.
Yeah, and it looks like Lane sent me a message. Lane says, Ares, Darth Vader, you better buy him. Oh my God. There ain't no way. I said I don't get all the troopers without head sculpts. Darth Vader's a different story.
And let me give you an example of like the whole collecting thing that I was telling you guys about. I have pretty much purchased like most of Hot Toys since I started. I could tell you this. I have Rogue One Darth Vader. I have the 40th anniversary Darth Vader. And I have the Sideshow exclusive Darth Vader. So I've missed most of the Darth Vaders that Hot Toys came out with.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
me too.
But there's no need to have every single one. There's really no need. Obviously, yes, if you want it, if you love Vader and you feel like you need to have them all, absolutely. But do you need them? Absolutely not. They're
But
all
Fabio, I need them. I need every Vader. I just can't afford it. But I know what you're saying.
no, there's nothing wrong with needing it. Absolutely not. If that's something that you really want to do, by all means. But you don't have to get everything, is my point. Because if you have literally every single Darth Vader that was ever made by Hot Toys lined up next to each other, all you're going to find differently is different body, different material, different clothing, different stitching, different, it's all going to be pretty much the same thing, just done differently. That's it. So that's why I didn't go crazy having to buy every single Darth Vader, having to buy every, this one came. As long as I had the reason why I bought the Sideshow one first was because that was the only one available at the time. And 2, that's the one that came with the head sculpt, with the Darth Vader actual head sculpt. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I need to have this. So that's why, and I have them displayed with the head sculpt on. So that's why I needed that one. And then the other 2 I got after the fact. But I didn't need every single Darth Vader. For what?
No, it's a good point. I mean, you got to look at it that way. And if you do, then, that's fine as well if that's really what you want. But then you put what, Fabio? A different parameter on something else. You just need a parameter somewhere, no matter what it is, right?
Correct. You need to be in control.
Control is another good word.
Correct. Don't let the market control you. You're in control at all times. Do not let the hype control you. You're in control the whole time. Yeah, it's easy. You could easily get sucked into the hype because it's inevitable. It's like, oh my God, it's something exciting, something cool, something new. Understandable. But you have to understand that nobody's in control but the government and then you. So that's why you need to, you need to understand that. Don't let anything or anyone put you in a situation that you had control over the entire time.
Now, Fabio, I'm going to ask you real quick. I have to get another drink. Can you talk? We haven't talked about this, but I want to. Can you take the floor for 1 minute while I get some more drinks here to serve people up?
Absolutely not. I did not watch the damn show.
But talk a little bit about this tease. They basically said here, this was another one of these teas that they're coming out with the rest of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Go ahead and set that stage real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. So guys, I'm in full control right now. First time ever. So welcome to my cantina for a few minutes. So I feel like, again, the fact that a record was announced, I actually thought it was a quarter scale figure because it was massive and it was in front of another one. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, this is insane. The fact that he's coming, we have Hunter, we have Crosshair, and whoever these are back here. Like I said, again, I haven't watched the show, so I don't know their names. But I ordered so far. I think I have. What did I have? I think I pre-ordered the ones that are out so far, just because they're cool. Cool outfits, cool figures. I think Hunter is one of the ones with the head sculpt. I don't remember if they all come with the head sculpt, but the ones that do look really cool. I think actually one looks like Sylvester Stallone, which I think looks really, really nice. So these figures are definitely coming. They all have different weapons, different accessories. They look different. The helmets are different. The outfits are different. The armors are different. So very, very, very exciting about these figures as well. Actually, what did I do? I was watching when the show started. I think I was watching the first episode. I started to watch it at least. And then something happened. I got sidetracked and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not even going to get into this. So that's why I did it. But are they cool figures? Absolutely. You guys know by now that a lot of the things that I collect because I like them, not necessarily because I'm attached to them or because I've watched the shows or the movies or whatever. No, if I think something looks cool and it's appealing, attractive to me, why not? It's my money. Why can't I buy it? Which is why, the whole inside joke came about with Joao and stuff. It's like, oh, you shouldn't be collecting if you haven't watched the show or the movie. That's absolutely not true. I feel like the only difference with that is if you haven't seen a show or a movie, you won't have an emotional attachment to that character. That's understandable. But it doesn't mean that, oh, just because you don't know what the character's about, that you can't collect something that looks really, really cool in hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, thanks for carrying that for a little bit, Fabio there. I mean, this is sixscalecantina.com. Ruben Guerrero says the Bad Batch will be complete, folks. Well, that's kind of where I wanted to go with this, and then we could go back into whatever you were talking about, Fabio. Here, I did get some new drinks for everybody. The coffee, we still have coffee, but later on in the day, we've got deluxe spatchka, and we've got the off-world Jawa egg juice. Let us know, Fabio and I, what table you're at for sure. That's kind of where I'm going with this here. It's, looking at this Bad Batch figure, look at everything that's happened, Fabio. Just sixscalecantina.com. Please bookmark the site if you've never been here, because it has all your breaking news for Star Wars Hot Toys, at least officially by Hot Toys. Look at this. Bad Batch saying that we're coming out with the whole line. So there's been a lot of conversation of worry from the past, Fabio. Will we come out with all 5? And they basically said we're coming out with all of them.
Yep.
Just FYI.
Yeah,
it seems like they're on a mission to let us know. Stop saying we won't, because we are.
Correct. And that's where now at this point, everything that we see is coming, because and this is where like the huge shift happened with Hot Toys specifically. We, again, and this is from my experience collecting from as long as I've been collecting Hot Toys, we have never gotten full lines like this from anything, like at all. It was always one announcement here, one announcement there, another announcement there. It was never so back to back to back to back. It was never so frequent. It was never so much. It was never so many. It was never, multiple releases at once within the same day. These are things that you guys, I'm just assuming that you guys are, new collectors. So, I'm gonna just assume that you guys never experienced what the past was. But anybody at this moment collecting is living during the best era of collecting ever.
And look at all these line items that I have. Okay, so there's the Bad Batch. We're telling you, never talk about that we won't do it a line again. We are. Look at this. This is not the Attack of the Clones wave. Commander Appa with Bark Speeder.
Yep.
This is not Clone Trooper with Bark Speeder with Sidecar, which is freaking awesome.
That's awesome. Yep.
They also came out with now people are like, oh, they got to come out with announcements. We've been talking about. Well, they did. There's your Luke. There's your Django. There's your Moff Gideon. As far as Star Wars go, all on schedule, except the Grogu set, which nobody cares about that accessory set needing to be on time. And then you got this here. They did another one because I think that they kind of anticipated that people will say, oh, yeah, there's your C-3PO. There's your, R2. There's, Battle Droid, a couple of clones. They basically said the very next day, we are preparing for more collectibles from Star Wars Attack of the Clones to celebrate the 20th anniversary. Stay tuned on our next wave of thrills. This has all been, again, and I'm showing this at sixscalecantina.com, kind of a little bit of kind of like a little bit of an outline here on what they've been doing. And as I fill up table 66 again, I feel like Hot Toys and Howard are basically telling a story that goes like this.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
Dude. And then going on, here you go. C-3PO, R2, Clone Trooper, Battle Droid, Clone Trooper Pilot, and these Clone Troopers. A couple of Clone Troopers that they're showing at the show that were teased in these photos. Mace Windu that was teased, Fabio. Let's not forget that with the Battle Droid. And then, of course, the Clone Wars Anakin, the teasers before. I mean, just look at this, Fabio. How the month started right after on the heels of the Bespin Luke. The R2 and C-3PO tease. The announcement of the official release of the Clone Wars Anakin. these 5 figures at once, nothing to do with anything on Disney Plus, mind you. This right after it saying more's coming, so don't say that that was it. Then you get Django. Then you get Moff Gideon. Then a few days later, you get Luke Skywalker. Then you get this the other day. Then you get this announcement. Then you get this announcement. And they're like, hold on, wait a minute. Out of nowhere, Bad Batch. We just want to let you know all 5 is coming. I mean, dude, it is insanity personified.
Yep. And that's what makes it exciting. I'm telling you, everything is fair game now. Everything, that we've seen. And again, the fact that they're getting so ahead of their time by letting us, because they could easily just announce them like they regularly do. But the fact that they're letting you know so early on, how long are these going to be fully done? Not anytime soon, I can tell you that. So the fact that they're letting you know ahead of time, listen, all of this is coming is awesome because Hot Toys has never been so vocal about things like that, ever.
And are they sending a clear message with this? Because Brandon Altman says they haven't even dropped the Wave 2 clones yet. And there's been a lot of conversation. And I was arguing the other way. It was just my opinion. I was arguing the other way that they don't have to concentrate on the Andor series. They don't have to concentrate on the Book of Boba Fett. They don't have to concentrate on the Obi-Wan series. They don't have to concentrate on the Mandalorian. They don't have to concentrate on the Ahsoka, the Lando only. And that more than 1 or 2 figures, and probably even more so, of the original trilogy and the prequels and the Clone Wars are going to outweigh those even more. And it turned out to be, for whatever reason, that I'm right. And it looks like that they're putting out these announcements like, hey, we are. And we're doing both, by the way. And we're probably going to produce on the same level as Marvel. We're just letting you know. It just looks like that they're making that message of, hey, this is where we're going. And we want you to know we're concentrating on the whole darn thing. And every little thing your heart desires, we're going to do.
They're taking advantage of, again, the popularity and the hype of Star Wars right now to make that money for as long as possible. That's what they're using specifically this time to super overload the market with Star Wars everything, because they know that this is the time to strike while the iron's hot. Any moment that for whatever reason, we get a bad show or we get a bad anything from Star Wars that's going to turn people off, there goes Star Wars. So right now, they figured, you know what? Star Wars is doing well. Let's throw everything at them and then hope for the best. And that's what they're doing.
And look what Brandon Altman says here. They haven't even dropped the Wave 2 clones yet. So here's the thing. I haven't actually asked you this question, Fabio, but I think we both know what the answer is. Is the Wave 2 of Attack of the Clones the last and only wave that we'll ever get from Attack of the Clones?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's so much from that movie alone, just like every other movie, that they could give you. So I feel like they will use, big time characters in the beginning at least, and then they'll start giving a character here. Same thing like they did for Rogue One. They gave you, all those main characters while they were hot, and then, we're going to get Baze at some point because he's coming 100% too. So, they're still giving us figures from that line. So Baze is coming. So same thing. Anything released or announced from episode 2 doesn't mean that that's it. It's done. There's still more coming because, again, there's so much from each movie.
And so let me ask you this. And I totally agree. I believe that at least 3 of the 5 figures from the next wave will have head sculpts. You may still get a couple of clothes, a couple of extra battle droids, super battle droids, sure. But I think at least 3. Certainly 2 are going to have head sculpts. When are we going to get the second wave? Does the second wave have to happen this week? Do we get 1 or 2 to cap off the month? Here's my thoughts, and I want to say this in a very, very big way, because Brandon's saying they haven't even dropped the Wave 2 clones yet. I have a sneaking suspicion that by Monday night, Tuesday morning, that Howard and Hot Toys, which again, I'm feeling that I want to end this with a big exclamation point with a big cherry on the top. And I do believe that everything that he's done is kind of like this, and in a good way, not an evil way.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
Is there even a significant chance, Fabio, that we don't get this wave or don't get something by Tuesday to cap off the month of May to say, hey, this is the way?
I think the last wave, in my opinion, is coming at the end of the month to close off the month with this last these last few figure announcements, and that's it for a little bit until obviously we get the Obi-Wan. We start with the Obi-Wan announcements, and we're definitely getting some Marvel stuff as well, because don't forget, not only have they not released everything from that summer release picture, but don't forget that we're still waiting for Hawkeye from that show, from the Disney Plus show, the actual Hawkeye character Clint. So we're getting a lot more stuff. Don't forget, there's still stuff coming from Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, No Way Home. So Marvel's not done yet, but that's what I mean.
And they gave us Taskmaster during the middle of celebration here, so absolutely they could get. They're gonna give that too. But I mean, for Star Wars specifically, I agree with you. I think that I think what you said is correct. I think that there's going to be a cherry on the top, an exclamation point for the end of May.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think all the whatever's left to give, they're gonna wait till the last minute to be like, all right, here you go, boom, month is over, and then they can start focusing on everything else that's coming. Yep.
And again, this is 6scalecantina.com, folks. If you don't have it bookmarked, you may want to consider doing so. Single Songwriter says Disney Lucasfilm has given the green light to Hot Toys. You bet your ass they have. you bet your ass. Look at this here. Look at this right here. You can just go to 6scalecantina.com. Is it possible that I'm going to have to update these pictures? Now, obviously, I could have put on here the chrome plated clone trooper and also the black chrome Death Trooper. I didn't, because Hot Toys didn't put them up yet. But you all know the drill here. Those are coming up, and for 2022, not 2023. But look at this right here. And I think this is going to grow all the way through this month. Look at that scrolling. Scrolling.
My God.
Wow. It's absolutely insane. Yeah. And then look at this. The latest show, which I have up here. Here's the banner of the show you're watching. Star Wars Hot Toys Live. Proper 66. Coffee. 20th anniversary Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Celebration. Look at Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. And I have X-Wings in the background, Fabio. Why did I put X-Wings there? And you have to wonder, is there even a chance in Mustafar that with all these vehicles and a tease of the cockpit that we don't get an X-Wing or a TIE fighter pilot sometime in the future? Talk to me a little bit about that. Or a snow speeder pilot for this Luke that was just a vehicle. But I would love an X-Wing. Could Hot Toys, is it too big to do an X-Wing, a full one? Could we get something like that that's on this banner here?
I was just going to say, can they do it? Absolutely. Have they thought about it? Absolutely. Do they have some prototype somewhere? Probably. But I think the problem is, a 1/6 scale X-Wing is going to be massive. A 1/6 scale TIE fighter, it's going to be massive. So that's the thing. And they know that. I don't know if you remember when The Dark Knight Rises came out. Hot Toys was ready, and they had I saw a picture of the prototype of this. They were going to do the Bat, which was the flying vehicle, in a 1/6 scale. The thing was humongous. It was obviously meant to fit Catwoman and Batman inside of it. The thing was humongous. It was never made, so they made a smaller scale of it. So that's the problem. I think, can they do it? Absolutely. Would it be amazing? Absolutely. But it's too big and people will get turned off from buying because there's nowhere to put it. But they're capable. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And let me ask you a question, because you're watching the market show live. Did you smash the like button yet? Go ahead and do that right now. We do very much appreciate it. You're watching a very special market chart show here on Memorial Day weekend, the kickoff to Memorial Day weekend here on Friday, May 27th. Market chart show with Aries and Fabio. And we're going to be back at it tomorrow. And the market chart show will actually live and raw at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, 2 hours before the sideshow live show at 8 p.m. So you absolutely want to get the kickoff to that here with Six Scale Cantina tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern for sure. And pulling this up on here right now onto the screen, Fabio, from Sandra. And Sandra, this is what Fabio and I were just talking about. So I'll go back to this real quick. In general, can I wait for a figure to be released and then buy it? Or do I have to pre-order everything I want? Cause my budget is not that big, and I'm afraid I will miss out. Well, listen, that's why you got to watch more of sixscalecantina.com and check out TK FOMO. Because is it 1 clone, 2 clones, 3 clones, 4 clones, 5 clones, 6 clones? Well, you already got 6 clones already this month. Will it be 7 clones, 8 clones, 9 clones, 10 clones, 11 clones, 12 clones? You bet your ass there will be. So here's the thing. And Fabio and I were just talking about it. You just need a parameter and you just need some type of guideline, whatever it is. Fabio and I are complete opposites on this. I never, and since I don't pre-order a damn thing. There's only one figure, one set I pre-order. Otherwise, I don't pre-order a damn, not a damn thing. Why? There's no need to. There never was a need to. Does that mean you got to pay attention once the final production photos come out on what could potentially go on wait list? Sure. Absolutely. That nothing's really changed. Everything's kind of the same from where the hell it's been. It isn't any different now from then. And let me pause for a minute at my point to make a point and fill up table 1 with the Sith Lord.
Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
And just like that, it's the same damn thing over and over again. It's the same story. You had the Mud Trooper sell out before it got into stock. You had the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian sell out a year later. You had Rey almost do that. It was 21 days. It's going to be no difference this year. There'll be 1 or 2 that way. And in the years to come, that's how it rolls, especially with lower productions. It's going to happen. The thing of it is, I don't pre-order. For me, my methodology is I can't tie up my money. I buy everything cash. I have 0 debt with anything in my collection. You're going to pre-order anything. When the final production photos come out, you got to weigh out, is it going to be released in Hong Kong and the United States and Europe at the same time? Is it not going to be? Then you could play. You have some time in there. Is it, is it something that could potentially be low production? You worry about it there, but there's not a chance in hell that I tie up my money for a year or 2 or 3. Whereas Fabio does with everything he pre-orders. However, he has a different parameter that he uses and a different budget as well. You just got to have that parameter in there. Right. But to answer this question, Fabio, no, he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. You just need to have a budget and budget accordingly and put a stop on it if you need to. End of the story.
Right. Yeah, my advice to you, regarding this specifically is, if you're worried about missing out, focus on, if it's something that you're looking for, the special editions are the ones that to go usually first. Female characters, they don't usually make as many, so they'll go quicker than any male character. So we're focused on, if a female character is something you want and you're afraid that she's going to sell out, jump on her as fast as possible, because she will sell out sooner than any other male character, especially if she's very popular at the moment. Another thing, with the pre-orders, you have to remember too, and a lot of people don't think about this until it's too late. Your space, your collecting space, where you're keeping your collection, you have to have an idea of how many figures you could fit in your area, whatever that area is. How many display cases do you have? How much room do you have in them? What kind of cases are they? How many figures can you fit in a case? Let's say, for example, a detail. How many are you planning on fitting on each shelf? Are you okay with the way it looks? Does it look too crowded? Are you happy with the fact that it looks too crowded if you're planning on collecting too much? How many figures is your goal? How many figures are you going to be satisfied with? Or are you planning on, collecting to sell, to be able to buy more? There's a lot of things you really got to think about, not before you're getting to collecting. No, you have to start figuring that out during your highest point in your collection, because that's just going to show you and going to dictate to you where it is that you're headed. So by you figuring out, all right, so I have, let's say, just random example, I have 3 details. This is all I could have in my space. This is all I could use. This is my collection area. That's all I could afford. Now, again, how many figures are you planning on getting with these 3 details? Are you planning on doing 1 figure displayed per shelf, which looks amazing? Are you planning on doing 2 per shelf, which looks amazing? Or are you planning on doing 3, 4, 5, 6 per shelf? It all depends on you. And that's what you have to figure out on your own to see, all right, this is where I want my collection to go. And this is what I want my collection to be about and look like for me. It's just going to be for you. Don't worry about anybody else, because guess what? Nobody comes to your house to look at it. Nobody cares what you have. It's all about you. It's your money that you're spending, not somebody else's, to be told what to spend your money on or what to buy. And that's where the hype becomes a problem. But at the end of the day, just know that the person in control is always and will always be you.
Yeah, and to add on top of that here, Tactical Jackal puts up, would you jump on Snowspeeder Luke or wait for a price drop? So I'm going to give you my perspective since this goes in line. It's way too risky for me. No, I'm getting, now that the final production photos are out, there was no need to get it before then. There's no need for me to pre-order the Snowspeeder Pilot Luke, even though it was my absolute most anticipated figure of the year, number 2, the Mandalorian Luke. But now that the final production photos is out, yes, I am securing that, and I'm buying that right now. It is way too risky to wait. Can you wait a month or 2? Sure, just like the Commander Cody. It's, these things come into stock. It's going to be in there a month or 2 or 3. Sure, could it be in there as long as the Lando? Absolutely. I'm going to give you a little bit of story over there. But to me, too risky. I'm not going to give it much time. Got to get that figure now, because that is an absolute grail in the making. And I'm not entirely convinced they made a ton of these. They may have. Prominent character. Nobody really knows. I'm telling you right now, they didn't make a ton of the Lando. And people are going to be crying about that in the future. It's going to be the same story as the Jawa and the Gonk droid, which sat for a long, long time. It's going to be the same story as the Bespin Leia, which sat, or the Endor Leia by herself, which sat for a long, long time, like you're seeing the Lando right now. And when the Lando goes, it's going to go up like the Jawa and the Gonk droid, which people are like, oh, I got to spend all that now and go up. And with the Lando in that packaging, and you see all the other figures, it's going to be gone. So the point is you kind of play a little bit of Russian roulette with these figures, because once that Lando's gone, as far as in a bargain bin, that's absolute BS, because the Jawa and Gonk droid are not in the bargain bin. The Jawa and Gonk droid are not in the bargain bin. The Bespin Leia is not in the bargain bin. The Endor Leia is not in the bargain bin. So I think with this, for me, way too risky. You've given yourself plenty of time now. This was a long time ago. It's out. Within the next couple of months, few months, I would pull the trigger on it. Would I wait 2 years on this? No. I think there, you're going to have a problem. Fabio, go.
Would you jump on this? Well, here's the thing. At any moment, I would say don't wait, because somebody like Luke, a figure like Luke, a character like Luke is a very, very, wanted character. Again, I go back to first time he was made. this is the first time you've ever seen a snow speeder Luke. The reason why I'm not 100%, with telling you jump on it is because of this, and I'm going to give you the pros and the cons of this. There are reseller companies that will, after a figure is announced and you wait a couple of weeks, the figure is dirt cheap. Why? I don't understand why they do that. I don't know why they do that, but it happens. Now, so this could happen with certain figures where you wait a couple of weeks and then you'll find it overseas for, $150 off. That's a possibility. So that's when I would say wait. But specifically speaking about Luke, the reason why I don't think you should wait on this is because, again, there's too many reasons for this figure to be sold out quicker than usual. So instead of being worried and stressed out over it, I personally think you should jump on it just to be safe, because you never know. Again, like Ari said, months, okay. Years, absolutely not. And when I say months, I don't mean 5-6 months. I mean about 3 months or so, maybe. And that's pushing it because you're risking it. But yeah, my honest opinion is jump on it now just to avoid any issues in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's all I try to give you is shoot it to you straight, and I feel like that this has been something where it's helpful. It's very, very helpful, Fabio, to a lot of the people in here. And Sander with the $4.99 drop, thank you so much. I know I put your comment up, and you were basically saying thank you for us addressing that, and you're putting in here, thanks for the advice. Thank you so much for that, Sander. And thank you all for watching it here. Putting up here with Dutch Has a Plan with the $5 drop, puts in, I only collect figures I like, not to complete series, but if Hot Toys starts doing video games like Death Stranding, Fallen Order, they may get all my money. Well, sure. They're going to be diving into the Fallen Order. Absolutely. Darth Revan. Don't even think for a second. Darth Revan is coming.
Yep.
I can't wait for that, dude.
Yep. That's going to be a beautiful figure. Same thing that they did with, what was that figure? The Darth Malgus. That figure is a beautiful figure as well. So, yeah, Revan, no-brainer.
Absolute no-brainer for sure. It's coming, and Dutch Has a Plan. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. About Future is in here as well. I don't put some of his up on here. It would be a welcome gift. Good to have About Future in the house as well. Let's go ahead and fill everybody up. Fabio, can you believe we're going on 3 hours and 17 minutes? I have never in the damn history of Six Scale Cantina ever went 3 hours and 17 minutes before. Dude, I feel like I could talk to you forever right now. We're competing against another channel right now. We're competing against the biggest channel, Star Wars, right now, which is live from Celebration. I am missing stuff. But oh my goodness gracious, dude. I am so excited. I think we covered just about every single thing that could possibly happen. I will tell you that I am so psyched to find out what goes on with Sideshow tonight, what happens with Hot Toys tonight, what's happening with Star Wars. Some people let me know in here, Star Wars has been live since 3:30. Anybody tell me in the chat as we start signing off over here, is there anything going on that Fabio and I are missing? Any type of announcements? Fabio, what are we going to get from Hot Toys tonight and closing this out? I know we're going to be talking all weekend. We're going to be live on here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have you on here. I'm going to have Dante on here. I'm going to have Joao on here. We're going to have a panel. What do you think is going to happen? Is anything going to happen tonight with Hot Toys? Hot Toys doesn't typically do anything on a Friday night. Right. Hot Toys doesn't typically do anything on a Saturday night or on a Sunday night. Does that change? Well, because of this coordinated event?
Well, Hot Toys has given us, announcements randomly on the weekends as well. Like, Sunday.
They have.
Yeah, so, that's why I don't put anything past them at any moment, because the moment you start seeing them have some type of pattern that you could try to figure out, they completely kill it by switching it up, and then that's it. So I don't put anything past them. Are we getting stuff? I would hope so. Is it Star Wars? Not sure, but I have a feeling something's coming, because remember, there's still plenty of Marvel left.
Very, very interesting indeed, for sure. And I think I have to go ahead and put this on pause here. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, all right, guys, listen, that's all I got. It's been 3 hours and 20 minutes. Fabio, Aries and Fabio live. You're going to see, don't forget the Man of Hot Collectibles tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Dante's show. You absolutely don't want to miss that. Again, the Man of Hot Collectibles coming up at 8:30 tonight. Do not miss the Live and Raw tomorrow night at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. on the dot. Going to give you 2 hours, not 3 hours, not 3 hours and 20 minutes here. You're going to get that tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on Memorial Day. You will see the Dark Jedi here with a full panel. Book it on your calendars for sure. You will also see Aries and Fabio on Monday. I'm losing my mind, losing my voice here. Aries and Fabio for sure on Sunday night. Maybe we'll go a little earlier that night, Fabio. Maybe we'll we usually start at 8:30. Maybe we'll start around 7. We'll go ahead and advertise it. Just we'll be there Friday, Monday evening.
And one more thing, guys, we have a huge announcement tomorrow during Aries' show. Stay tuned for that. It's a big, big deal. Very exciting. So I hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this huge announcement. What could it be? Who wonders? I'll just go ahead and play this. Is this what they call Fabio or me?
They call him the Wizard.
And let's go ahead and fill up the little green guy who's changed everything. And as Joelle has pointed out, Big Bretta, also in Asia, the hottest thing right now, filling up table 5 at 88. My goodness gracious. And remember, I don't always buy coffee out. But when I do, I buy it from 6 Scale Cantina. Here's the thermos right here. Stay thirsty, my friends.